What's up, Giants fans, Hub watchers, YouTube subscribers, Twitter and Instagram followers? It's your boy Kush with another stream. I am like sweating right now because I literally arrived like a minute before the stream actually began. What's up, everybody? Shout out to Logan's Gaming Lounge, Joseph Balby, Edward Chan in the chat. I see Saji was in here, Toast. You guys were already getting it going before I got in here. So here's the deal. PTA might pop in at around 9 o'clock or so. Entertainah might pop in if he has the time. He was like he might pop in if he finishes up with the guys over at Authentic. I think it's Authentic in the Beard. He was doing a podcast over there with them. So more and more people might come in. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully get a nice group of people here. Either way, it's live Q&A. You guys know how it goes. Shout out to Joe Yaddo, Jaden Dawkins in here. Logan says, can I get a year? Year. Of course you guys can get a year. So let me see what were you guys talking about before I got in here. I got apparently Jimmy G. I'm guessing you guys were talking about the 49ers matchup. Joe Yaddo says, I almost don't want to beat San Francisco because then expectations might be high. People already want traded and tank, and we're definitely going to be talking about that. Shout out to Mr. Icy in the chat. Yup, indeed, we just got Devontae Freeman, the biggest news of the day. I did not have time to make a video on it because I was actually when the Devontae Freeman news came out, I was finishing up editing on my pros and cons vids for the Giants versus Bears game, which is already up. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's like a 17-minute video. Went a lot longer than I thought it would. I had a lot more points in both the pros column and the cons column. The cons still without the pros because it was a loss, but it was definitely a lot of things in there. And I was editing that, and I saw the news on Twitter that we kind of officially signed Devontae Freeman. Of course, he has to go through the COVID-19 protocols. He has to pass all the tests and all that. All that has to be good before he's officially on the roster and whatnot. But I like him, man. I made a video on Devontae yesterday when there was rumors going around that he's going to visit with the Giants after his visit with the Eagles and whatnot. You guys let me know what you think about the Devontae Freeman signing. I see Logan says RIP to Saquon. Yeah, I mean, one of my cons in the pros and cons video, maybe I'm being, overreacting a little bit to it. Maybe I'm being too pessimistic. I was like, Saquon's never going to be the same again. You know what I'm saying? A torn ACL on a running back that already had another foot injury. Of course, it was on the other leg last year, but it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a long and hard road to recovery. Hopefully the Giants stick with him through thick and thin, and then, we could get him back and have Saquon of old back. But it's going to be a long road recovery, man. Joseph says it was a nice pickup. He's probably not going to be a 2015 Freeman, but hopefully he does well. I mean, in my Freeman video from yesterday, I was like, I don't need him to be a 2015, 2016 Devontae Freeman. I need him to be a good, consistent rusher for about 15 rushes a game. Because remember, he is coming off an injury as well. Devontae Freeman, at this point in his career, I wouldn't put the label injury prone on him, but he definitely has a bit of injuries on his mileage, and I would say he's going to be good for like 15 to 20 carries a game. Definitely, we should do a running back by committee type thing. It would be Freeman, Lewis, and Gallman. However, they split the carries between Lewis and Gallman. Let the coaching staff figure that out. But I think Freeman should get around 15 to 20 carries a game and then let the other guys take over from there. He's a good, consistent runner, and he's good in the receiving game as well. I think a very underrated part of Devontae Freeman's game is his receiving game. He's never had a season in the NFL with less than 1,000 combined yards, except for two: his rookie season and the season he went out with an injury. Was it an ACL tear? I have a feeling he as well had an ACL tear back in 2018. So we're gonna see there. But Ligament says Freeman's about to have 2,500 yards. If he does, that's amazing. Realistically speaking, I think the guy's probably going to have like 700-800 yards for us, which should be good. Jaden Dawkins says Barkley was never getting a contract extension anyway. Please tell me he gets overpaid and trade him like OBJ. If Barkley doesn't get a contract extension, that's it. We're gonna let him walk. I think. I don't know if we're necessarily gonna trade him. And even if we do trade him, that's gonna be a sad, sad day for me, man. Saquon Barkley is my favorite player by far on the Giants. He was the first player in the NFL in general that I followed his career from college all the way into the NFL, and I wanted him to get onto the Giants so badly. Saquon is technically the reason I got into the YouTube in the first place, because I started getting a lot more into football that same 2018 draft year. I was following his career a little bit, and that's when I got a lot more into it rather than being a casual fan. So it would be a tough day for me if the Giants either trade or let this man go, man. Toast says, I really like Freeman. Joseph, thank God we had cap space and we didn't spend all of our money. And shout out, I know Dave Gettleman has been getting a lot of a lot of heat, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. The team that's on the field is a team that Gettleman built. So if there's any heat sent his way, I'm not going to defend him from that. I know he's been getting a lot of heat, but shout out to Gettleman and Judge for saying to themselves, we want at least, you know what I'm saying, at least 10 million cap space available because of injuries. We went into the season with 15 mil available. Does anybody know what the contract was we signed Freeman to? But because we had that cap space, we were able to actually pick up Devontae Freeman. Because I'm telling you guys, and then once again, check out the video I made yesterday. It was like, if we signed Devontae Freeman, which I feel like is the reason I shouldn't even make a we signed Devontae Freeman video, because all my thoughts are in there. If like we didn't get Freeman, the next guy up on the market is Marshawn Lynch, who's chilling right now. You don't want him. He's washed up anyway. He's a good guy. And then after Marshawn Lynch, there's guys like Wendell Smallwood, Corey Clement, Jaquise Rogers. These are not guys you want to be your starting running back. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very glad that we got Freeman, and it was on a good contract too. As Joseph Bobby here says, it was a 1-year, $3 million deal. I'm very happy with that. In the video, I actually said, I hope we get him for $4 million or less, because he was looking for $4 million. Very happy with $3 million. That's amazing. Joel Yaddo says, I hate Barkley's hurt, but this could help because the defense is not going to know if we're running or passing. It could open things for Jones. Yeah, once again, Freeman is an underrated pass catcher out of the backfield as well. I feel like whenever Saquon's back there, the defense always knows we're about to run. With Freeman, maybe less so, because I do expect this to have a little bit by committee action going. So maybe there's going to be Dion Lewis back there and they're expecting us to pass, but who knows? He's going to run or something. Shout out to Nick the Wick in the chat, Rafael DeLuna, and Caden as well. Rafael says, week 2 was crazy. Best game, in my opinion, was actually the game last night. I thought the best game of week 2. It's a tie. Well, I wouldn't even say Falcons-Cowboys was a good game. It's funny because Falcons-Cowboys is very much like that Super Bowl 51 Falcons and Patriots matchup. It wasn't necessarily a good game because it was just really, really bad for a good first 3 quarters of it, where the Falcons were blowing the other team out, and then the second team makes a comeback. But I really liked Vegas Raiders versus the New Orleans Saints. That was a very entertaining game. And the Raiders, man, you talk about a team that's surprising people. They're 2-0 now. I expect them to be 1-1. And if you guys watch my prediction videos, you would know I said, don't be surprised by the Raiders if they do good this year. Even I was surprised that they beat the New Orleans Saints. The Raiders played a really good game. Josh Jacobs is a better running back than I thought he was before. And Darren Waller is honestly making a case for being like a top 10, top 5 tight end with the performance he had last night. I think Raiders Saints was a really good one. Other than that, Patriots and Seahawks was also really good. That was a game that came down to the wire. I like Patriots and Seahawks as well. Caden says, Saquon's a future Hall of Famer. Danny Dimes a future Hall of Famer. We made the right pick in every draft since Getty came around, and I'm not disagreeing with that. Gelman is probably one of the best drafters in the entire league. People don't like to admit it, though. He's an okay GM. Jaden Dawkins says Baker coded himself in an outside corner position, and we would be better with him. Coded himself? Coded. What do you mean by coding himself? But if you're saying we would be better with DeAndre Baker on the field, yeah, we would. Edward Chance says, to be honest, I have us as the 31st best team in the league right now. You got us that low, man? You telling me Cincinnati's better than us? Caden? You're telling me Cincinnati's better than us? Are you telling me that listen, I know Washington is 1-1 right now, but are you honestly telling me that Washington is better than us? Cincinnati, Washington, really? I'm not going to say where I have us right now because I'm actually having difficulty finding a teams that we're better than those two. Oh my God. Edward says Cincinnati is better than us. I am actually surprised by that. I don't know about that. Ligman says the Raiders will fall off. Trust me. And Logan says, dude, I've legit been having panic attacks thinking about Saquon. Yo, keep it calm. Chillax. Take some deep breaths, man. In, out. Yo, Saquon's going to be fine. If we all think that he's going to stay with the Giants, maybe he'll stay with the Giants. Saquon better stay with the Giants, man. He better stay with the Giants. I saw a very detailed comment here. Oh, yeah, Caden says the refs were horrible in the Bears game. Defense push off on the last play, missed holes, bad PI calls, Giants got cheated. I wouldn't necessarily say the Giants got cheated, but the refs were trash. They really were. The offensive pass interference, that last call was not offensive pass interference. That was defensive pass interference, if anything. And during the game, Caden, I don't know if you were watching my live stream with Kid Blue. I called about 3 or 4 holds on our defensive guys that were just not called by the refs. 3 or 4 holes that the Chicago Bears offensive line held on our defensive line, and they were just ignored. So there were definitely calls that were missed. Let me get down here. Shout out to Sajid. He says Ed is just trolling on this point. Jaden says, I can see us trading him. I really don't want to talk about trading Saquon, but if that's what it comes to, that's what it comes to, man. I mean, and Raphael says that Minshew is underrated. Minshew is definitely underrated. Shout out to Jesse Bryan in the chat. Gardner Minshew, and I've been saying this since the Week 1 win, is essentially what Browns fans wanted Baker Mayfield to be. Gardner Minshew is that for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Think about that for a second. A quarterback that comes in and wills a team to win. I think Gardner Minshew is a franchise quarterback. I do. And taking a team, an organization that's just trash and making them better than they are. He is what Baker Mayfield was supposed to be, bro. Like, Gardner Minshew, I think, is definitely underrated. Shout out to Giants Opinion Sports in the chat. Channel member in the house. What's up, Giants Opinion Sports? He says, Devontae Freeman, baby. I do like the Devontae Freeman signing, man. Get your opinion in the chat right there, Giants Opinion Sports. We were just talking about that before we moved on to some general NFL things as well. Let me get back to another one here. For some reason, we're talking about Saquon versus Lamar. I see Caden talking about that as well. So Joseph Balby with an interesting question here. He says, I know it's only week 2. What do you think next year is going to look like? I don't know, because it's only week 2. But I will say this, kind of twisting your question a bit. I know it's only week 2, but do you guys think this Giants defense could hold up what they're doing right now? This Giants defense right now is ranked by ESPN as the 4th overall defense in the league. That is way better than I would have given the credit for being, man. I would never imagine by any stretch of the imagination that the Giants defense was going to be 4th overall in the league at any point during the season. I always thought we were going to be like bottom 16, bro. All of a sudden, we're top 5 now. So my question to you guys is, it's only week 2. Is there any chance of this holding up? And even if it doesn't, is there any chance of the Giants defense holding up a top 10 rating? Because right now they're at a top 5 rating. So I'm seeing some answers coming in here. Let me just quickly get this off the screen. Seeing some answers coming in here. I see a no from Ligma. Joseph Balby says they better. I'm guessing there's a chat about Kyler Murray here. Edward says Kyler is better. Raphael says, okay, we'll get to that question in a minute, Raphael. Logan says, I think we're going to be a top 10 defense. What do I think? I think, listen, we're not going to be top 4 by the end of the year. I don't think it's sustainable, but I do think at this point, we have really good potential to maintain a top 10 standing, in my opinion, man. That's just me. Shout out to Christopher Hidalgo in the chat. He says, so many fickle fans. It's only week 3. Y'all need to chill. I agree with you. I made one tweet about it because I was like, I don't want to get into like a big type of argument or a big type of discussion with anybody. I was just like, yo, listen, it's only week 2. We're supposed to be in this, hashtag together blue and whatnot. Stick with Daniel Jones till the end. And then in my video, I was like, Daniel Jones is my quarterback until he isn't my quarterback. And I'm just leaving it at that. He's my quarterback until he isn't my quarterback. And we've had worse seasons before, man. So that's what I'll say on that. I see a comment here by Giants Opinion Sports. He says, Devontae is on a prove-it deal. We'll see what he got. Devontae looks a lot like Ahmad Bradshaw. I would say, because Ahmad Bradshaw was, he had power to him. So, yeah, I would agree with that. He was a small back. He had agility to him, but Ahmad Bradshaw had a lot of power to him as well. Whenever you think power from that, Ice, Wind, and Fire trio that we had with the Giants 10, 13 years ago, a lot of people think Brandon Jacobs, rightfully so. But Ahmad Bradshaw had power to him as well. I definitely think that Devontae Freeman has power to him. And it's funny. I don't know how you guys feel about this, but Devontae Freeman, in my opinion, fits this running scheme more than Saquon Barkley does because Devontae actually runs up the middle and gets power yardage more than Saquon does. So I think he fits this running scheme a little bit more. That's just me, though. You know what I'm saying? And then, of course, he does have the dual threat. He does receive. He is a receiving back. He can't catch it out the backfield. He can't catch it if you put him in the slot or something. So it's really a very good signing. It's all about how he gels, and it's all about, if he could stay healthy, because Devontae Freeman is also an injury-prone guy. Let me see what the chat is saying here. Let's see. Caden says he was talking about Lamar because of him versus Barkley going to us in the 2018 draft. Listen, I'm gonna end this argument right here, or end this discussion right here by saying literally no team knew that Lamar Jackson was gonna be the quarterback he is today because every single team passed at him. Lamar was taken at 32nd overall. That's the last pick in the first round. Every single team passed on him. So I feel like saying that we should have taken Lamar at 2 in 2018 is not realistic because nobody was considering him at 2. It would be realistic to say, oh, we should have taken Quentin Nelson at 2 because he was a top 5 pick. We should have taken Bradley Chubb at 2 because he was also a top 5 pick. We should have taken Sam Darnold at 2 because he was once again a top 5 pick. This was where these players went. Lamar was going at the end of the first round. Some people thought he was even going to drop into the second, right? So that's why I'm saying this is not a realistic conversation to have on whether or not we should have taken Lamar in 2018 or not because nobody knew dude was going to be what he was going to be. You know what I'm saying? Let's see now. I got Raphael saying Brandon Jacobs is his favorite Giants running back. I think Brandon Jacobs is probably like 80% of Giants fans' favorite running back, and maybe the other 20% is Tiki Barber. The reason I'm not throwing Saquon in there yet is because I feel like Saquon hasn't had a long enough career yet, which is sad because this dude was not at all, injury prone in college. And now the question comes up whether or not Saquon is injury prone, and it's a legitimate question to have. Is Saquon injury prone, guys? Do we need to start having that conversation now? Shout out to Nerding Out Sports in the chat. I just saw you, by the way. Is Saquon injury prone? Like, you talk about the ankle sprain last year or the ankle injury. He was out for 3 weeks. He was supposed to be out for 6 weeks. You talk about tearing your ACL this year, 2 years in a row. Is he injury prone? Or is he just, a victim of unfortunate circumstances? Or is it both? I don't know. But it's a legitimate question to have now. Let me go up real quick because I see the chat is moving really good, man. Let's see here. Do I think we could go 9-7? Is what Logan is asking me. Nah. Even before the Saquon injury, I thought the Giants were a 7-9 team. So nah, bro. I don't think we could go 9-7. I'll be happy if we do though. Christopher Hidalgo says Freeman is solid, but I'm worried about his injury history. Very good point. I am worried about his injury history as well, which is I want us to keep him on a pitch count if we're going to use him. I want us to keep him between 15 and 20 carries, no more than that. And then let the other guys take care of it. Let Dion Lewis take care of it. Let Wayne Gallman take care of it. Have a rotation. Do not make this guy be what he was in 2016, 2015, because he's going to fall apart. You know what I'm saying? Giants Opinion Sports says, the Giants offense doesn't improve, Garrett will be gone. That was probably 2 weeks in a row now, guys, on my pros and cons vids. 2 weeks in a row. Jason Garrett made the cons list because his play calling has been horrendous, in my opinion. I think Jason Garrett's play calling has been terrible. And it was showed in that first half of the Bears game where the Giants offense couldn't get anything moving. We couldn't even get 3 points. You know what I'm saying? Granted, Graham Gano should have made that kick. But, dude's coming off an injury. He's a little bit older. Whatever. We couldn't get 3 points on the board in the first half. That's all play calling. And tell me why Darius Slay only had 3 catches. That's all play calling. I don't think Daniel Jones would purposely not throw it Darius Slayton's way. So I really do not like Jason Garrett's play calling right now. It's not a fan of it. Not a fan of it. Let me scroll down here. Nerding Out Sports says, I like the deal for Freeman. We can have a real 3-man running back rotation. I think we could have a solid 2-man. I'm trying to think how we would split it between the 3 guys, right? Because I could see Devontae getting like 15 carries a game. I could see Dion having maybe 10. And then what's Wayne Gallman going to get? Another 10? That's running it like 35 times a game. I don't know. I want us to run it 35 times a game. I would be happy if we do. So if that's the case, yeah, all for it. But I'm thinking it might be a little bit more of a 2-man rotation than a 3-man rotation. You guys let me know what you think about that. Maybe Freeman gets it 15 because I really think we're going to run it. I still think we're going to run it less than 30 times a game as much as I hate it. It's just what I've seen so far from Garrett's play calling, which once again, I don't like his play calling. I don't. I really don't. So far, he better improve it. Let's see now. Sajid says 5-11. We draft Parsons. Jaden Dawkins says 5-11 or 6-10. If we go 5-11 or 6-10, I'm gonna be happy because I thought we were a 7-9 team with Saquon. You know what I'm saying? I thought we were a 7-9 team with a fully healthy wide receiving core and all that. So I think is Logan talking about Saquon here? He says I think he's gonna come back for another 5 years, but after that he's done. Sad to say, but it's true. If he's done after another 5 years, that's kind of like it's sad, but the average running back lifespan in the NFL is like 3 or 4 years. So if we have Saquon for 8 or 9, I'll be happy with that. You know what I'm saying? 10 would be ideal, but yeah. Let's go here. Christopher says Garrett can't execute for them. He's not the one doing it, which is a good point to bring up, right? Jason Garrett could be calling good plays for all we know, but the players may not be talented enough or just may not be executing it to the best of their ability or executing it to a way that it should work. But then my counter to that, Christopher, would be then call plays that the players can execute. That's your job as an offensive coordinator. We'll go back to what Judge said. You won't try and fit a square block into a round hole, right? You got to make the players do what they can actually do. Otherwise, you're going to look like a fool out there, which is what happened the first half. The first half of the Bears game, the Giants offense looked like a bunch of fools out there. Let's see here. Debo, shout out to Debo in the chat with a nice thumbs up. That's Debo from Friday, it's looking like. Let's see what's up here. Chat is moving, bro. Chat is absolutely moving. We already got people saying that that Garrett needs to get out of NY. The same thing I said for Jason Garrett is the same thing that I said for Daniel Jones and Joe Judge and basically everybody on this Giants team and coaching staff. Give them time. We need to see a full year. As hard as that sounds, we need to see a full year before we decide to fire anybody. Now, Gelman is probably gone no matter what happens. I feel like I feel like ownership has wanted to get rid of Gelman anyway. But give everybody on the roster, everybody on the coaching staff, the whole 2020 season, and let's see and evaluate after the season is over. You know what I'm saying? Let's see now. Blake Bortles is the new Broncos quarterback after Drew Lock is out. Isn't Lock only out for like 4 weeks or something? Somebody updated me on that. And NFL week 2 injuries, man. We got blessed with so many good games in week 2, but then the injuries was just accompanied with it. Like week 2 was filled with a lot of good games. You talk Falcons, Falcons, Cowboys, Patriots, Seahawks, Raiders, Saints. Even the Thursday night game, Browns, Cincinnati was entertaining. Chargers and Chiefs. That was another one that went down the wire. We got so many good games, but then like so many injuries to accompany it, man. That's crazy, bro. Let's see here. I'm like working my way down, chat guys, because you guys are moving fast. I love it. Let me just continue here where I left off. For some reason, you guys are talking about Steph Curry, which is a completely different sport. But it's a similar ankle injury is what Caden is saying, but completely different sport, man. Like you admitted it's a completely different sport, so it affects them in different ways. I love Vic Debitito. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but Vic, the comedian, he's a New York Giants fan, and he makes post-game videos. I don't know if he still makes pre-game videos. Hilarious. You guys need to check him out, bro. Dude is absolutely hilarious, man. Let's see now. Christopher says Saquon is going to have an APS comeback. He's that type of player. That's what I hope is going to happen. I mean, Saquon's taking it on with that Mamba mentality, which at first I didn't get. You know, I didn't understand him deleting all of his Instagram posts was that Mamba mentality thing until I actually saw later on somebody mention it. And I was like, oh, that makes more sense. I thought like he was saying, oh, I'm done with the Giants or something. Thank God it wasn't that. But yeah, I'm happy with that. Jesse Bryan, I saw you dropping this comment a couple of times, bro. Shout out to Jesse in the chat. Yeah, we already talked about it. We can continue to talk about it for sure. But he did sign 1 year, $3 million, very cheap deal. I love it, man. So Giants Opinion Sports says last game, wide receivers did not get open. We cannot have that. I really hope that this was the case and it wasn't a case of play calling, as you know, as weird as that sounds. Because if it was a case of play calling, then we got a problem fundamentally. You know what I'm saying? So let's keep it waiting. Like I said, let's give everybody a little bit of time. Nerding on Sports says, I think it's a learning process for everyone, coaching and players. 3 new offensive linemen. Jones is only in his second year and already in his second system. Stay the course. Patience is key. I can't say anything better than that, man. I really can't say anything better than that. Shout out to Tyler Haynes in the chat. Joseph Balby says it was 2 to 6 weeks for Locke. Shout out to M. Desai in the chat. M. Desai, I think I've never really seen him in the chat before until I did the Bears Giants stream. He's a Bears fan. Yo, good win for the Bears, although I will say that was a defensive pass interference on the last play. Just had to say that. But shout out to M. Desai in the chat. Giants Opinion Sports says we got a bunch of good games week 3. Speaking of which, let me pull up the NFL schedule for week 3. Let's see what that's looking like. NFL week 3. I know we got Ravens Chiefs. We got Ravens Chiefs. We got Dolphins Jaguars, which is going to be good just because of how good Gardner Minshew's been playing. We got Raiders Patriots, which is going to be good. Ooh, Texans Steelers is going to be good. Rams Bills, Titans Vikings. Oh yeah, we got a lot of good games for week 3, man. Packers Saints. Yo, week 3, at least on paper, shaping up to be real good, man. Shout out to Dom Dizzy in the chat as well. He said Garrett play calling in Dallas suck. I don't know what everyone thought. Well, Dallas hasn't called plays. Dallas hasn't called plays. Garrett hasn't called plays in Dallas for about a good 10 years now. He hasn't been the offensive coordinator for a while. So it wasn't him calling the plays for a while now. Although I will say Garrett in Dallas generally did suck. So we're going to say that. We'll agree on that, man. Let's see now. Texans are the most overrated team in the NFL, is what Christopher says. I don't think they're overrated because I don't think anybody has them going anywhere at this point, man. Do we have shout out to Bronx B Squad in the chat, bro? Bronx B Squad, you guys know this, man. The original BBS in the chat. He says, do we have a chance against the 40? Oh, we have a chance against the 49ers. No, just me. It all depends on who's injured because Jimmy G is still day-to-day and George Kittle is day-to-day. If those two guys are in there, I honestly think that they're going to beat us. If they're not, we have a chance. But if Jimmy G and George Kittle make it there, it's going to be a tough, and long day. It's going to be a long day for the Giants fans, man. Toast says, Hub, Michael Parsons' career stats, 6.5 sacks, 0 interceptions, 6 forced fumbles, 99 solos. Toast, that sounds impressive, but I can't actually tell if it's impressive because, once again, I don't watch college football like that. I don't know. It sounds impressive. I'll give you that. But I think the disclaimer should be put out that I don't watch college football like that. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people want us to draft Michael Parsons next year. He seems to be a guy. I mean, I would want to draft the middle linebacker depending on where we're picking. I would love to draft the middle linebackers, go alongside Blake Martinez. That'd be very nice. Shout out to Calvin in the chat. He's a Cardinals fan. Calvin, great supporter. He says Cowboys versus Seattle. I said Seattle instead of Seattle. Cowboys versus Seattle should be fun. Cowboys versus Seattle, I don't know. The Cowboys offense seems to get on track now that they scored 40 points. So maybe. I think it should be fun, but I really do think Russell Wilson might torch that Cowboys defense. Russell Wilson looks like he's on an MVP-esque campaign right now, man. This man, he's out to prove something. Because honestly, in my opinion, I thought Russell should have gotten the MVP last year. But hey, man, Lamar got it, and it's not like Lamar wasn't deserving. I just think Russell should have got it over Lamar. Giants Opinion Sports says Giants versus Niners is going to be old school. The Giants got to stop the run or the game's already over. And let's talk about that for a second. The Giants' run defense is not as good as it should be. We have put so many resources and just so much into that defensive line, the front three, talking about Dexter Lawrence, Dalvin Thomas, and Leonard Williams, that the run defense isn't performing up to snuff. And that's not because these guys aren't performing up to snuff, because I saw a stat by PFF that said when the Giants have those three guys specifically out on the field at the same time, they only allow an average of like 12 yards a drive or something like that, or like 12. It was like 12 yards every like 3 or 4 plays or something like that. I don't know, but it was something really impressive. The thing is, with the rotation that Patrick Graham is running, and hey, man, so far so good, because once again, we're ranked top 5 in the NFL for defense right now. The thing is, though, I feel like he doesn't have those three out on the field enough for the run game, because we saw what happened with Chicago. We were actually containing the run game until the fourth quarter, where they just sort of allowed David Montgomery to cut through the Giants' D-line like it was nothing, cut through it like a hot knife through butter. Like, this dude was just absolutely gashing us. And you talk about against Pittsburgh, Benny Snell absolutely gashed the Giants. The run defense is not performing the way it should be, given the guys and the resources we put into it. So if we can't stop the run against San Fran, who were missing both, their first and second string running back, we're going to be in for a longer season than we thought. Forget a long day, a longer season than we thought. Let me just get this off here. Yeah, Coleman and Mostert are injured. Not afraid of Jerick McKinnon. I'm not afraid of Jerick McKinnon either. But Benny Snell ran for 112 yards on our run defense. So I mean, hopefully we could hold them back. You know what I'm saying? Let me scroll down here real quick. Shout out to Mixed Sports in the chat. He says if we don't beat San Fran, the season is definitely over. I'm not saying I disagree, but I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't disagree. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I agree, but I don't necessarily disagree. But yeah, Mixed Sport has a point there. The past 2 seasons we started off 1-2 the past 2 seasons. So hopefully we could start off 1-2 at the very least this season, man. Let's see here. Shout out to Andy. Is that Andy? Is that supposed to be Pikachu or Paku? He says, I want to see more screen passes because we have small, elusive backs and we don't have the ability to run through the middle consistently. The only reason we don't have the ability to run through the middle consistently is because the middle of that O-line right now is not very good in the run game. The pass game, pass protection is actually pretty nice. You know what I'm saying? I'm very impressed. Andrew Thomas, starting left tackle, he's a franchise guy, man. I love what I'm seeing for Andrew Thomas the first 2 weeks. This man absolutely, he's lived up to my expectations and more because I expected him to struggle because of the fact there was a lack of an offseason. But without an offseason against TJ and Bud Dupree, without an offseason against Khalil Mack, save for that one play, literally just one bad play I can name about Andrew Thomas in the past 2 weeks where he let Robert Quinn go by him and get the sapstrick fumble on DJ. Other than that, Andrew Thomas has been amazing. But yeah, the Giants O-line, the only reason we aren't able to run up the middle is because the run blocking is not as good as it should be right now. Yeah, that was in the fourth quarter. The run defense, going back to one point I was making earlier, run defense needs to improve, needs to live up to what, the talent that's on there, needs to live up to the guys that are actually there and the resources we got there, man. Well, the reason we're kind of projected to have a top pick in the draft right now, Toast, is because we're 0-2. A lot of power rankings, you know what I'm saying? A lot of power rankings have us dead last in the NFL or 31st. So it makes sense. Caden says, I really hope the coaches don't feel pressure to run it with Freeman too much just because he's new. Because I want Danny Dimes to air it out to Big Play Slay, aka the Dragon Slayer, every other play. Now, I don't want that to happen every other play, but I want it to happen, every game at least once. At least once or twice every game. But I agree with you. They should never get pressured into running it too much because then you become predictable in the sense that you're always going to run it. You know what I'm saying? But I agree with half of that statement. You know what I mean? Leonard Williams was not worth the trade. I agree with you, but I see your previous comment, and I disagree with this one. He's not a waste of space. He's doing pretty good this year so far. Let's see now. Twitter, Giants. Giants posted on Twitter, our defense, Rams 4th in the league, allowing 326.5 yards a game. That's a very confusing sentence there, Jesse Bryan. They posted on Twitter that our defense, Rams, I feel like you were trying to say something else, and it probably got mixed up or something real quick. Let me get down here. I see from Joseph Balby, how do I think that Freeman will play on Sunday? Now, given that if he passes, COVID-19 protocols and whatnot, I fully expect him to be a pitch count this Sunday. I think he's going to get, let's say maybe 18 carries, and then Dion Lewis and Wayne Gallman are going to get the rest. I don't know, because I don't know what to expect from this O-line in terms of run blocking. I'm going to say maybe he has like 80 yards or something. I feel like that's a very realistic prediction, a realistic expectation to have a Devontae Freeman, maybe 80 rushing yards, maybe, like 20 receiving or something like that. Nothing amazing, but nothing terrible. Something definitely that's helpful. So I think he could have a good game on Sunday. Christopher says, what are my thoughts on the Raiders last night? Their offense is what I envisioned the Giants offense to be. Yeah, I think this is why I like the Raiders so much this year, is because of that. The Raiders offense, the way it's ran right now, very heavy running with Josh Jacobs, very heavy running with Jalen Richard, and then nice passing to their tight end, Darren Waller, nice passing to the receivers. The Raiders offense right now is what the Giants offense was supposed to be. So I agree with that statement. What's up to PTA? PTA is in the house, bros. His info is down below. Wait, hold up. PTA, speak again. Let me see if I can hear you properly.
And then move the mic closer. Move the mic a little
closer. Yeah, because you're like mad quiet right now.
Oh, I'm mad quiet, yo.
Yeah. So what do you think about this, bro? I was just talking. Yeah, the Raiders' offense right now is what I expected the Giants' offense to be.
We talking about the Giants tonight? Is that what we're doing? Talking about Giants.
PTA seems either very sad or very disappointed or something. I can't tell.
That's what we're doing tonight. We
That's what we're doing tonight.
talking about Giants.
Yeah. I just want to say you're like extremely quiet. I don't know if they could hear you that good.
I mean, I guess I can talk louder or something. I mean, all right. Let's talk about Giants. I'm gonna put the mic right here.
There you go. That's a lot
Right
better.
here.
That's a lot better.
Is that better?
That's a lot better.
That's gonna make your life easier for me to
Yeah.
sit here and we talk about Giants.
You want to talk about the Giants? We don't have to talk about the Giants.
I mean, you was talking about the Raiders, and you were saying that the Raiders' offense is kind of what you expected. Giants' offense,
Yeah.
That's what we're doing, right?
That's what we're doing. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I was really impressed with the Raiders. I was actually really thoroughly impressed with the Raiders. I'm not surprised that the Raiders look good, man. I mean, Gruden is an excellent coach. People thought that him being away from the game for a while and being behind a broadcast booth was going to, I guess, lower his football IQ, but it didn't. He got to sit around for multiple years and watch the league grow and watch teams build and see what was working and what wasn't working. I mean, like it was one of those situations where he was gonna be really, really good when he came back, and he is. And the Raiders right now look amazing. That damn tight end Waller, first of all, he
Patrick Torres here with something that I agree with. Darren Waller is what Evan Ingram was supposed to be.
Waller, I lost one of my damn fantasy football games because of Waller, man, because he balled out, and I was like, this son of a bitch is gonna ball out, and he looks.
What's happening?
The Koreans yelling at Otis the goat downstairs. Loud. Yeah, I mean, like Waller is. I don't know if Waller is what we would expect Evan Ingram to be. I mean, it's what we would want him to be.
In terms of a receiving threat, he's what I wanted him to be.
He's catching everything. It looks like he does a pretty good job of blocking.
And he's fast for a tight end as well.
And he's fast. He can create mismatches out there on the field. I mean, like Waller looks great, man. I hate Evan Ingram. I hate him. I hate him.
Yeah.
I hate him. You know, I feel kind of numb, right? And I shouldn't feel numb about this team, because after watching the game a second time, I was actually able to find a few positives, and I talked about that in my breakdown video that I posted today.
Mm-hmm. I just want to say real quick, AJ Marshall, we signed Devontae Freeman, bro. He's gonna start.
Yeah, Devontae Freeman. He actually signed for $3 million,
which was less than I expected. He was looking for around 4 or 5, and I was like, if we could get him for less than 5, I'm on board.
You see Ligma's comment? Ligma's comment is funny.
PTA Sports the type of guy to get an old lineman jersey.
You know what? I would totally get an old lineman jersey. Oh, let's go just bust up in here. He sure did. Now he's under the table. I just saw that the door was open.
But yeah, so go on. You were saying you want Ingram out of here. We got a couple of comments. You know, trade Ingram, get him out of here.
Yeah. I mean, like, so okay. Let's just kind of rewind before I go on a tirade about Evan Ingram's bum ass. So like, I watched the game. I watched the game a second time. I was able to find actually some positives. It wasn't all bad.
Do you have a number on your pros and cons? In my pros and cons video, I had like 8 cons and like 4 pros.
I don't have no because essentially I wasn't. I didn't necessarily like look at it and go, okay, let's write down what's good and what's bad. I just looked at it. I turned my fan eyes off and I turned my coaching eyes on, and I looked just to kind of see, you know, just certain positions, certain players. And like they're there are a lot of positives. Okay, it's not all doom and gloom for us, even though like we're not winning games. And I have to remind myself that like I'm not looking at this season as a win a bunch of games season. I look at this season as the beginning of our rebuild because, and I know like people are like, "Oh, Dave Gettleman, blah 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 blah." Twitter's going crazy. I went crazy for half a second on Dave Gettleman, but like to be fair, we're in year 1.5 of the rebuild, right? The rebuild happened in week 3 of last season, so we're like 1.5 years into the rebuild, and well, not even 1.5. This is going to be the 1 year in that 1.5 year.
Mm-hmm.
I just I look at it right, and I say to myself, okay, so the defense actually looked really good in the second half.
Do you know what the defensive rating is right now?
I believe we're top 10.
We're 4th overall in the NFL
Yeah,
in
okay, we're
defense.
top 5.
We are.
Defense is
The
actually
defense isn't really good. The defense is amazing right now.
the
at
defense.
least two through 2 weeks.
Listen, I wouldn't. Even though I've been preaching this entire time that our defense was going to be our strength, I wouldn't say that our defense is amazing or great, but they've been really good. We've done an excellent job of keeping everything in front of us. We are tackling well. There are a couple of players who are just not good at tackling. I don't like Ballantyne from a tackling standpoint.
You want to talk about bad tackling? The first touchdown we gave up to Chicago
The first touchdown
was
was terrible. It was terrible. And you know what? This is the reason why when I did, if anybody went and they listened to my initial reaction and I was raging about the defense, I was raging about the defense because I was so upset about the first half. Like the first half was so bad from a defensive standpoint
and offense. It was just bad from a team standpoint.
Yeah, it was bad overall. Obviously, it was bad because that's where we gave up all of our points. We gave up 17 points in the first half. The second half, man, the defense actually looked really good. I was watching it and I was like, yo, like this, okay. I see some good tackling. I see some good coverage. Bradbury's a beast. Okay.
Bradbury is worth every single penny.
I watched that interception a million times because I was just trying to figure out how in the hell he was.
That was the most smooth interception I've ever seen in my life. Because I don't think anybody thought he intercepted it. He just came down. All of a sudden, he has the ball in his hand as he stood up.
Yeah, I had to watch that a bunch of times just to kind of comprehend what had happened there. Our linebackers did well. There was one play where Blake Martinez got lost. And I hope that they addressed that. I hope that they have addressed that in the film room. He had turned his back to the quarterback and was just
I know what play you're talking about. I saw it on Twitter.
Yeah, he was running. I saw that play on film, and then I saw people talk about it on Twitter, and I was like, I'm glad some people are paying attention because that play, that is the play that I make Blake Martinez watch for about 30 minutes. Watch this damn play. Look at what you did on this play. This was bad. That was probably his worst play, but overall he played well. I was happy with that.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, like it's not all bad, but I'm kind of numb already. Like I'm kind of like.
What do you think about this one right here? Because I've seen a couple people saying this since we're on the defense. A couple people have been saying that Peppers were taking terrible angles through the first 2 weeks. What do you think about that?
He has been taking terrible angles. Yes, 100%. And I think he's playing a little overzealous. I think he's playing a little too fast. And I think the reason why he's playing too fast is because he's overthinking it. I think he needs to just like get out of his own head and just play with instinct. Because when Jabril Peppers plays with instinct, he looks really good. But I think he's overthinking it. He's playing way too fast right now. So I mean, like, I know that I don't seem to have the same energy as I normally do when I'm talking about this team, and it's because one, this was a game I thought we could win.
I definitely thought we could have won this.
And this is a game I had Big Blue Jabroni on my live stream last Wednesday, and I told him, yo, if we lose this game, I'm going to be upset. And I'm upset. I'm just upset mostly because of fundamentals, man. We lost this game because of fundamentals. And
what's even more upsetting is because that's what they've been preaching all off season.
Right. We lost this game from the fundamentals, both player fundamentals and coaching fundamentals. I don't know what Patrick Graham's mindset was.
I just want to say I like that there wasn't necessarily halftime adjustments because coming out the half, the Bears were still killing us, but there was in-game adjustments in like the third and fourth quarter. I
Right.
really hated the fact that there was absolutely no in-game adjustments for the first half, and they just let the Bears kill us. Edward Chen just pointing out the Bears ran one same play where the route goes over the middle 3 times in a row, and the Giants did nothing to stop it. That's the things that I'm angry about. I'm angry about the fact that we entered the last 2 minutes of the game with 0 timeouts, but we entered the fourth quarter with all 3 timeouts. I don't know what Judge was thinking there. And in my pros and cons video, I'm like, yo, listen, playing devil's advocate, if we got the touchdown on the last play, everybody would be praising Judge. Oh, what a smart move. But I don't get why we used all timeouts before those 2 minutes. There's definitely things that I was just like, I don't know what's happening here.
Yeah, I can't even tell you what his mindset was with using those timeouts because it didn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. I asked that question, as the game was like, why are you using timeouts already? I mean, the only thing I can think of is he's trying to maximize time. But I don't know. I don't know why. I don't. I think we all hate Valentine right now. Like Valentine is not. He's just not doing well.
If we're gonna be honest, the second cornerback spot, I like the way the secondary is performing, despite the fact that like we thought it was gonna be terrible. It's all right. I feel like if we get it or somehow, oh my God, I didn't even see that. Nikki with a $2 super chat. I was like
Nikki,
scrolling through comments. Shout out to Nikki, the MVP from last night's stream. She donated like 12 times in last night's stream. It was crazy. She's $2 super chat. She says, "Love you, Hub." Shout out to PTA and the chat. Shout out to Nikki, man. She's in the Hub Hall of Fame. Currently the only inductee.
She is the MVP. Team Nikki all day long. Yeah,
exactly.
100%.
What was I saying before that? Because I was literally scrolling down through the comments and then I saw that. Oh yeah, I think I had this comment highlighted, but we were talking about Corey Ballantyne and like if we had a just an average starter at the second cornerback, how much better do you think that secondary would be right now?
I think it'd be a lot better if we had a better option there. Ross Cockrell is still available. Maybe we can bring him back and apologize and give him
how much did he really want? That's the question that everybody's asking now.
He had to have wanted a buttload of money, like I mean, like a buttload of money, probably on Actually, you know what? I don't even know if it was the money more than it was the time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he wanted a 1-year deal, and I think they were trying to give him a 1-year deal. I think he was trying to get a multi-year deal. Like that's the only thing that could make sense. You don't, because I mean, let's think about it, right? He's still on the streets. He ain't getting paid right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. I'm like, do you think he's going to come back if the Giants go to him? He's going to be like, all right, now you're going to give me the deal I want because you came back to me? Or the Giants going to be like, nah, you haven't been signed yet. Like, who has more leverage power right now?
I mean, I think it depends because we don't know how many teams have reached out to him. I mean, I haven't been paying attention, so we don't know if he's been to any tryouts. Don't know. So it depends. But I mean, like, now that I look back at it, like no professional athlete is going to turn down a payday, right? It's just not going to happen. So actually, we did re-sign Logan Ryan. He was the person that filled Saquon's spot. Thought we re-signed him. I thought we signed him from the practice squad.
Logan Ryan. Wait, are you sure you're thinking about the same person right now,
Maybe
bro?
it's Ryan Logan. Is it Ryan Logan?
Logan Ryan, the safety, the cornerback.
We signed somebody from the practice team who's got a similar name to that. What the hell is
that? I have no idea. I was like, hold up, bro. What are you talking about? We re-signed Logan Ryan. I'm like, huh? Anyway, John Speeding Sports says Love is solid. I want to see him getting reps in the slot and Holmes on the outside. Now I would keep Holmes on the inside and let him develop. And no, he's been kind of struggling, but he's a rookie. I think we forget he's a rookie, 4th-round pick. Let him develop, let him struggle, let him learn. Keep using Love however they've been using him. They've been using a 3-man rotation at free safety right now between I think it's Love, Ryan, and or it might have been just a 2-man rotation actually, and it's been working okay.
Ryan Lewis. I'm sorry.
Ryan Lewis. Okay.
Ryan Lewis. They signed him off of the practice squad, so he's no longer going to bounce back and forth. He's going to be on the team right now. Thank you very much, Edward. I appreciate that.
So yeah, man, what do you think about the coaching, the play calling? from this game?
I don't understand why we were using so many. I don't truly understand because I'm not in the coach's room and I'm not talking to Patrick Graham, so I don't know what his thought process was. But I don't quite know why we use so much 3-man rush. The only Nikki just hit with one of your members deals, by the way, just so you know, just so you don't miss
Yeah,
it.
I see it. I wish that they could actually show the emojis, but they just have the code for the emojis there. But she used obviously the Saquon emoji, the Daniel Jones emoji, the Giants emoji, the helmet, and the Slayton. Those are the 5 emojis that members get once you become a member.
So I don't understand why we use so much 3-man rush. The best thing that I can come up with, and I talked about this in my breakdown, is that he must have been trying to keep everything in front of them. But because it seemed like we pressured Roethlisberger so much, we sent so many different blitz packages.
Yo, one thing I noticed is we didn't use Leonard Williams the same way we did week 1.
No, we didn't, and I don't.
I
Again,
don't understand that.
Is it because we're concerned about Mitchell Trubisky's running ability and his ability to extend the play with his legs? I don't know. So we're going to drop back a bunch of people, put them in coverage, and rush 3. But I am listen. The energy is drained from me. I'm not going to lie. Life is real busy right now. I got a lot of stuff going on, and so like. I'm running on fumes. Listen, I'm burning the candle at both ends sometimes. It's okay, man. This is what life is. I think that like maybe his philosophy for that game was, okay, we want to try to contain Trubisky. We don't want to send a bunch of people because then we got to worry about him breaking contain and scrambling. So instead, we'll keep everything in front. Like that's the only thing that I really could come up with as I watched the game. It's like we must have been concerned about Trubisky's running ability. Mm-hmm. Because let's be honest. Okay. Trubisky throws ducks. But
there was so many throws that he made this game that was just looked so wobbly. I'm surprised it didn't get interception.
He throws ducks. They're bad passes. But he is so good at scrambling, extending the play, getting those tough yards as a quarterback. And I think that we were concerned about, trying to contain him. And so it was like, all right, we're not going to blitz as much. We're going to try to keep everything in front of us. It didn't work. It didn't work. Not for the first half, at least.
What do you think about this right here? Asian Marshall saying, well, nobody likes Ballantyne or Yadam at the second cornerback spot. What do you think about moving Logan Ryan to cornerback 2 moving forward?
Man, here's the thing about Logan Ryan. He is, he's primarily a slot guy, right? He's trying to revitalize his career as a safety.
Mm-hmm.
I don't quite know how well he would do against number 2s. I'm sure he could do it. It's not like he has not played boundary corner. I'm sure he could do it, but I don't know the solution for this CB2 problem. I just don't know what the solution is.
Unless we just go out and get a Cockrell or get a Drake or Patrick or somebody else.
Yeah, I don't know the solution.
And then this one right here by Logan's Gaming House. Very morose question. Do you think if we lose this week's game, we're going to just fall down a hole and do nothing but lose? How winnable is this game against the 49ers, do you think?
It's more winnable than it was 2 weeks ago.
You know what? Let's address the elephant in the room because
it's more winnable. It's definitely
Saquon out with an ACL, man. Your reaction, your thoughts. Saquon Barkley. Is he injury prone now?
Pain.
PTA was in my stream last night. He literally super chatted just one word, pain.
Pain, man. When Saquon went down, I just sat there for a little bit. Man, I was on One Giant Rebuttal's channel. It was myself, TSR, and him. We're calling the game, and the energy went out of the room. It was just gone. Losing Saquon is a big deal. Because we've built our offense around him. Like we can't
losing him for the entire year, and then you don't know how he's going to recover from the ACL.
Yeah. Like, how long you been streaming for?
Probably an hour, 55 minutes. It says.
Oh, okay, cool. So then when I curse, you won't get demonetized. Great. Hey,
Is
Dollar Beer,
Beer?
go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself, Dollar
As soon as Dollar Beer popped in, bro.
Cause just go somewhere that's not here, Dollar Beer. Like, you bring no value to anything in my world. And I know that you think that, like, by trolling me, hey, Tanner, get your ass in here.
Yeah, get in here, bro. The link is in the group chat.
I know that you think that you bring value when you show up and troll and then sign into a different account and troll and sign into a different account and then troll. But you're really fucking annoying. Like, you got the right one today, Dollar Beer. If you want someone to tell you about yourself without knowing what you look like, without knowing you as a person, without knowing anything about you at all, you got the right one today. So your best bet is to just enjoy the stream, ask some legitimate questions, like bring some value tonight. Because if you don't, then I'm going to cop-pizzle you.
Speaking of legitimate questions, before we get to this one, because this was going to be my next one, let's finish up the Saquon thing. Because Shepard is out for 2 to 3 weeks. Forget signing, in my opinion, signing another wide receiver or somehow getting another wide receiver on this roster is more important than replacing cornerback number 2 right now.
This is why I had an issue with us coming into the season with a handful of wide receivers.
Thank you for pointing that out. That was my con. Yo, when I do my pros cons videos, 2 things that made the list twice in 2 weeks, roster management. Last week, I was like, why did we only roll in with 5 wide receivers? And it became 4 when Tate got injured. This week is like, why in the world did we roll in with 2 running backs? And then Saquon goes down, and we had only Dion Lewis to rely on. Yeah, I don't know what's up with the roster management.
I don't know. I don't know, man. I can't wrap my mind around what this coaching staff is thinking. And I don't want to air this coaching staff out. It's too early to air this coaching.
It's way too early. And it's also way too early for Tank for Trevor talks.
Oh, that's just stupid, man. If you're doing that, you're dumb as hell, yo. And you need to go reevaluate your life, man. Like, if you're talking about tanking for Trevor Lawrence, we don't even know if we've got anything in Daniel Jones yet. We still have to figure that out.
The dude hasn't played his 16th game yet. That's going to be next week. I think people forget that.
And listen, I'm not going to name names. I don't want to do that tonight. But listen, I see some people on the internet, on Twitter, on social media talking about, well, you can get yourself another quarterback. Look at what the Cardinals did and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, yeah, but like,
they had a whole year of Rosen looking terrible. Yeah, we had a rookie year of Daniel Jones that should have won the rookie of the year and just like one bad game so far because the Pittsburgh game wasn't even that bad.
Yeah, I mean, like, from what I've seen from Daniel Jones, I like more than from what I saw from Josh Rosen. We shouldn't even be talking like this right now. How about we let this quarterback learn? And how about we let this quarterback grow? Like, these type of people who are talking like this are the same type of people who are dumb as hell, by the way, because you would have tried to run Peyton Manning out of town. Peyton Manning looked bad as a rookie, early in his career. He looked bad. You would have ran Eli Manning out of town. Eli Manning didn't look all that great, his first 18, 19 games. All right? Like, you got to let this kid figure it out. And listen, and if he sucks, he sucks.
But we got to see it.
There's going to be other quarterbacks, man.
Yeah. Like, no, and speaking to that, I know you didn't mean it this way, but what you just said, there's going to be other quarterbacks. I feel like people think you could plug and play any quarterback.
You can't.
Yeah, I feel like that's what some fans think. Like, you can just plug and play any quarterback every year in, year out.
You can't. So, like, listen, there's going to be other quarterbacks. Trevor Lawrence looks great, right? But there'll be other Trevor Lawrences. Just like we thought we wasn't gonna get anybody as good as Patrick Mahomes, but there's other quarterbacks that are as good. I'm not saying anyone is quite on his level, but we thought we was never gonna see anybody as good as Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, and then Patrick Mahomes comes along. Yeah.
What are we talking about here?
And Patrick Mahomes came out of nowhere. Joe Burrow came out of nowhere.
Right. So if Daniel Jones sucks next season 3, if he sucks season 3, I'll be yelling, get him out of here. Believe me.
Thank you. And I think I've told you this before. When it comes to players with me, I generally have that 3-year rule. You don't know what they are until their 3rd year because their 1st and 2nd are very experimental. That's just me.
Listen, I'm going to wait until next year. All right. Mm-hmm. If we're late in the season next year and Daniel Jones has been stinking it up, best believe that I will be on this microphone saying, get Daniel Jones's ass out of here. I have no problem saying that, yo, this guy is not the guy. All right. Y'all should know by now that I'm not a homer. Y'all should know by now that not everything this team does is good in my book. I have no problem, saying that someone's just not the guy because I'm a coach, and that's part of my job. That's part of my job as someone who coaches football is I have to tell the player, hey, bro, you ain't making a team. Like, that's what it is. Mm-hmm. So, like, don't think that I won't call these players out just because I'm not losing my damn mind.
Shout out to
Pat Shermer last year.
Yeah,
totally did.
Shout out to Mike Nixon in the chat, by the way. These were all responses to who was even replacing Shepard. We got CJ Board was good last game. I liked what I saw to him, but he's not replacing Shepard. He's a 3rd, 4th wide receiver. Yeah. We got Patrick Torres saying Benjamin Victor. Once again, maybe he has the potential to be a number 2. I don't know. As of right now, not sure. This is one I've seen a lot. Corey Coleman. Do we bring back Corey Coleman?
I've seen people talking about that. You know what? I wouldn't be against it. I wouldn't be surprised.
Same thing as Ross Cockrell, though. Not even one team is taking a look at the guy.
Listen, we're sitting here yelling about these players and how good they are, but they sitting on the sidelines. They're out in the street trying to find a job. You know what? I flipped out about Ryan Connolly. He got 1 snap last week.
I saw somebody tweet about it. He got 1 snap and he missed the tackle.
Maybe Ryan Connolly ain't as good as I thought he was. I mean, I could be wrong. Hey, maybe he's just not that good. We wilding out about players that can't get a job and can't get on the field. Like, maybe these coaches see something that we don't.
I mean, they definitely do. They're coaches, you know what I'm saying, on the professional level. Nerding Out Sports says, all in on DJ. He certainly wasn't the reason we lost 12 games last year and hasn't looked too bad so far this year, despite the bad line and the run game. Another reason why I don't know why people are just hopping off the DJ train. The bad line, the line is okay in pass protection, absolutely terrible in run blocking, and all his weapons are going down. The dude's healthiest weapon is Evan Ingram, who can't catch.
I'm going to be honest. I don't think that we're terrible at run blocking. I just don't think that we're good yet. Like, this offensive line does have the potential to be good in run block. They're all maulers, okay? With the exception of
That's the thing, though, PTA. They have good potential. They're not showing the execution.
Yeah, with the exception of Nick Gates. I don't know how I feel about this Nick Gates at center thing, man. Did you see? I saw this. I saw this in a game, and I remembered it, but I didn't put 2 and 2 together. But did you see that on the 4th down when they was trying to draw the team off sides? He didn't even put his hand on a damn ball.
Are you serious?
Yeah, Nick Gates didn't even put his hand on the ball when they were trying to draw him off sides that 4th down.
I did not see that.
He didn't even put his hand on the ball.
That's elementary.
I'm just like, yo, come on, bro. You didn't put your hand on the ball. How are we going to draw him off sides if you're not even touching the ball?
But the thing is, it's so bad that it's like Nick Gates is the best option at center right now. I'm not putting Spencer Pulley back out there.
I would.
I would not. Spencer Pulley was so bad last year, man.
I'll put him back out there. If Nick Gates ain't getting the job done, next man up. It's just what it is. Hopefully Colombo been working with Spencer Pulley. Listen, I don't think that this offensive line is bad per se.
Mm-hmm. I just want to say real quick, I know this is going to cheer you up, get a little bit of pep in your step. Thoughts on Doug Peterson trashing Carson Wentz, and the Eagles are probably even in a worse position than we are right now.
Did Doug Peterson trash Carson Wentz? I didn't see that.
I don't know if he actually did, but let's talk about the Eagles real quick. You want to talk about a team that's even in more disappointment than we are because they're in win now mode. The Eagles are trash.
They're bad. Yo,
The Eagles are straight hot garbage.
Here's our saving grace as New York Giants fans. The entire NFC East is ass, yo. Like the entire division is bad. I know Cowboys fans is walking around talking like they the truth because they came back against Atlanta.
Did you see the post? A Cowboys fan who happens to be a teacher walked in on Monday. Yeah,
I'm like, yo, y'all won the game because the Eagles the Eagles, god dang, because the Falcons special team is dumb. All they have to do was fall on the ball. It didn't matter if it went 10 yards, and they're too stupid to know that. They fall on that ball, it's game over, and the Cowboys lose. Like the Cowboys won like barely. But like you beat a team that's notorious for blowing leads. Like that's what the Atlanta Falcons do. They blow leads because they take their foot off the gas because they get comfortable. They've always done it. And the Cowboys fans is losing their minds over it. I mean, cool. Like I guess I'd be happy if our team won, but I'd be more realistic and be like, yo, we should have lost that game. I'm not happy with my team right now. Like we look terrible. But like the whole NFC East is bad. So we're at least we still got life. The Eagles look terrible, man. They look so bad. Carson Wentz.
The Eagles legitimately have the worst offensive line in the East right now.
Yeah, they do. And Carson Wentz looks like he forgot how to play football, man. He looks bad. He looks so bad. I didn't see the game, but I saw highlights and some of the stuff I saw. It was
shout out to Tana in here now.
YouTube Yoda is up in here.
What's up, guys? What's going on? What are we talking about?
Good. Hey, good,
we're talking about making ourselves feel better about the Giants because of how bad the Eagles are.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here, Chris, because I can't talk anymore.
I can talk. We're trying to feel better because how bad the Eagles are. Eagles are bad. Eagles are really bad.
PTA was just saying how Carson Wentz legitimately looks like he forgot how to play football.
The crazy thing to me is Doug Peterson has basically given up on his quarterback. Like he had an opportunity.
That's what we're just talking about. Like I didn't know about that. Somebody said Doug Peterson basically trashed him.
Yeah, I don't know if it was like taken out of context, but basically the quote that came out was Doug Peterson. He was asked about, what is he, is he alarmed, paraphrasing a bit, that Carson Wentz isn't playing well. And what's the problem for it? He said, I don't have an answer for it. Like he basically could have, backed up his quarterback and said, well, there's a lot of factors. He's going to prove it. He didn't say that.
He literally could have just said, yo, we have the worst offensive line in the league right now.
Yeah.
Like, he could have just said that.
Yeah, it seems like Peterson's frustrated with his quarterback.
He should be, though, because for 2 weeks in a row, Carson Wentz has looked terrible. And it's alarming, right? Because Carson Wentz is supposed to be the truth. People talked about Carson Wentz. Oh, he was supposed to be the MVP the year he got hurt. And it's like, yeah, okay, that's cool. But what's he doing right now?
But I mean, like, once again, how much of a mulligan do you give him? Because I keep bringing up the line. They have no line. They got banana peels there.
That's the thing. That's the thing. Last year they complained about the wide receivers, but they had a pretty strong offensive line. Now the offensive line's completely decimated, and you're seeing what it's doing to Carson Wentz. I never wish injuries on anybody, but Carson Wentz, he's going to get hurt. I mean, with that offensive line.
I'm gonna keep it real with you. I'm surprised he hasn't been hurt yet. I thought after week 1, they played the Rams. I thought for sure Aaron Donald was gonna hit this dude and he was gonna go down, bro.
Yeah. With his injury history, he got sacked 8 times week 1. I don't think he got sacked many times this week, but as banged up as their offensive line is, it's not looking good for Carson Wentz and his future there. It's really not.
Yo, guys, is Jalen Hurts gonna start this season?
Only if Wentz gets hurt. I don't think they pull Wentz.
Yeah, I was gonna say if Wentz is hurt, I don't. Yeah, I mean, listen, this is your starter, right? You gave him this extension. You're paying him all this money. You're not gonna put him on the bench. You're just not. That's ridiculous.
Stand up. What's going on, Nikki? Thanks for popping in the stream.
So yeah, Logan says, how do you feel about okay, I never thought this would even be a consideration, sweeping the Eagles, splitting with Dallas and Washington. I always thought it was going to be split with Dallas and the Eagles, sweep Washington. How do you think the division is going to go down in terms of division games?
It's hard to say because you don't know how these teams are going to look when we play them. Like we don't play the Eagles for another 5 weeks. And by then, maybe the Eagles start to fix their problems. We don't know what our team is going to look like. So it's hard to say. But I don't think we're going to sweep the Eagles. We haven't beaten them in seems like 100 years. So I'll take 1 win against the Eagles. I'm not going to go in with the expectation that we're going to sweep them. I do think we have a very good chance to split with them. And I think we have a good chance to split with the Washington. I don't think we're going to sweep Washington. I know everybody seems to think that. Washington's got a really good pass rush.
I used to say that we're going to sweep Washington. Even through week 2, even though they lost, their defense still looks good.
Yeah, and maybe I think I'm hoping at least by the time we play them, we don't play them till week 7, 6. I'm hoping our
Washington we play week 6. I think. Let me pull it up. I think Eagles
are week 7.
Yeah.
Eagles are week 7. But
we play them back to back.
But I'm hoping by then the offensive line. I think that's right around where I'm estimating the offensive line is going to start to gel. Week 5, week 6. And I think that'll be a good test of that Washington Redskins pass rush. If we could, I'm not saying we not give up a sack, but if we could, hold serve against that pass rush, I think that'll go a long way. And if Dan Jones doesn't get sacked 5 or 6 times and they don't get constant pressure, I think we'll beat them. I don't believe in their offense. McLaurin's a nice weapon, but it's going to come down to not turning over the football against that team, and they'll win. But I'm definitely not penciling in 2 wins like we have in the past. We could, but it's definitely not a gimme.
I mean, like, Daniel Jones has been well protected despite the struggles in the run game. I like the fact that he has been kept upright most of the time.
He has, but he's also been pressured 65 times.
Yeah, he's been pressured quite a lot. That is true.
And 7 sacks we've given up. So, some of that could be on DJ. Some of it could be on the line. It's definitely the pass blocking has been better than the run blocking. I'll say that, but that's not really it's not really an accomplishment because the run blocking's been as bad as I've ever seen.
So, you know what, Chris? Which one you want to get to first? There's 2 elephants in the room right now. Do you want to get to Saquon and your reaction and your thoughts on the Bears, or do you want to get to the Devontae Freeman news?
Either one. I mean, it doesn't. I mean, they kind of coincide with one another, right? Because Freeman's replacing him. But
let's go with the Bears and Saquon then.
Yeah. Listen, man, that was heartbreaking. Saquon Barkley's my favorite player. And all you can do is hope that he rests up and he gets 100%, and he comes back and he's ready to roll. But, that's no joke, that injury. I know players have recovered before. He's a guy that relies on his cuts and things like that. So you worry a little bit more than, say, like a quarterback like Tom Brady coming back from an injury like that. And I just hope he can get healthy, and it sucks for him because he was due to get a big extension this year if he played well. Obviously, that's not going to happen now. Hopefully he gets well. And in terms of the Freeman, I'm excited to see how the New York Giants implement this new backfield. I think we're going to get back to the running back by committee approach and see what we got. See if we get something out of Gallman, Lewis, Freeman. I still think we could have a pretty potent running attack if the offensive line takes a step up. I don't know if it'll happen this week, but the 49ers have a lot of injuries, so maybe we could get the ground game going.
I don't know how the by committee is going to be because I think we definitely need to keep Freeman on a pitch count. He also has his own injury history and whatnot. I feel like he'll only be affected if we have him on a pitch count. Not sure if that means we're going to have a 2-headed attack or a 3-headed attack, but I think maybe like 15 to 20 carries for Freeman a game is where I'm looking at.
I don't think he's going to get that many the first game, like you said. Because he doesn't have any time in the NFL. He doesn't have any. He hasn't been training, nothing like that. So I think his first game maybe 5-6 carries. I think probably in 2 or 3 weeks, maybe not 15, but I think he'll be the guy that gets the most. I think you'll see all 3 have a decent role, though. I expect all of them to get at least 5 carries a game, 5-6 carries a game.
No thoughts on that, PTA? You look so morose, bro.
I'm just listening. So I had a point earlier where you guys were talking about, and I don't know how many folks watch Pat McAfee's show, but Pat McAfee has been bringing Aaron Rodgers onto his show like every week. I believe it's every Tuesday, actually. Mm-hmm. And Aaron Rodgers said something that was real poignant to me. Like he said, we see a lot of fans like losing their minds about their team, having all these reactions or whatever. But like it takes like 4 weeks for your team to even figure out who they are. And then I thought about that, and I was like, that's kind of right. It takes about 4 weeks into the season. But we also haven't had preseason, so it's going to probably take about 6 weeks.
6 weeks, yeah.
6 weeks before the teams.
What just so happens, the first 6 weeks of our schedule is the hardest part of our schedule.
Brutal. But
and you could argue it might even take longer than that because this is a team that learned 2 completely new schemes. Everything's brand new to this team, so it might take longer.
Right. So that was the first thing that was kind of on my mind. When it comes to Devontae Freeman, I mean, like, I feel like we're gonna get better pass blocking out of Devontae Freeman, so that's gonna be good.
I do want to say though, Devontae Freeman is he's not very good at pass blocking. He's better than Saquon, but he's not.
Saquon.
He's
that's
not
why
that
I'm saying
good.
We're gonna get better pass blocking. I also don't think he's gonna get a ton of carries. 10 tops. Although I do see them utilizing him in the passing game a little bit.
Yeah.
So maybe he'll get 15 total touches. If he's lucky.
You talking about the first week, or are you saying that for like his duration here?
I'm talking about this upcoming week. Maybe he gets 10 carries. Maybe he gets five balls thrown his way. Check downs or something like that. I'm kind of in a weird spot, man. And the reason why I'm in a weird spot is because Devonta Freeman could be very good for us. But we haven't seen much of him. Like Chris said, it's been a while since we've even seen him really do anything of merit. So maybe he comes here and he revitalizes his career. Who knows? That's a good question right there.
Yeah, that's the next question I was going to bring up.
That's a good question right there about Matt Parrott, because
at the right tackle, not the left tackle.
Yeah, not left, right.
Not at left tackle. I love Matt Parrott. I love his intangibles. I hope that someone has taught him to be mean on the football field, because he's too nice. And it translates to him being soft, and he's not soft at all. He's just nice, and you can't be on a football field to be nice. Yeah, let's get Matt Parrott. Let's get Matt Parrott in the damn game.
He's gonna be in there sooner than later. I don't think
let's get his ass in there. I want him to be in there now. Like, I wanted him to be in there.
And speaking of rookie tackles, Andrew Thomas is just Jesus Christ. This man is a future like all. Oh,
Andrew Thomas is legit. Andrew Thomas.
I love him.
Yeah.
I love him.
This man, you hold up against TJ Watt and Bud Dupree, and except for one play, just one play where he messed up on that sack strip fumble from Robert Quinn, he was a stalwart out there for the rest of the game. He held Khalil Mack in check. He held Quinn in check.
I'm not even remotely concerned about Andrew Thomas. Like, I don't even think about Andrew Thomas on that left side. Like, I hope the blind side's good. I know the blind side's good.
That's the point I'm trying to make.
He's only gonna get better. He's only gonna get better.
Yeah, like, when's the last time we could have said the blind side is taken care of?
Yeah, I feel great about the left side of our offensive line, the entire left side, because I'm still a believer of Will Hernandez. So I think the left side of our offensive line is fine. And then the only concerns I really have is our center and our left tackle. That's why I'm saying
right tackle.
Our right tackle. Throw Parrott in there. Let's see what the kid got. He got to learn somehow, man. Go get your ass out there, man. You're going, and he's going to get beat, right? It's going to happen. But I think he'll be okay. Let's get his ass out there, because what we got going right now, I don't like it on the right side of the ball.
Fleming sucks. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen right away, but I think it's gonna happen sooner than I think a lot of us initially thought, because Fleming looks bad. I think they'll put Parrott out there no later than week 6. I think he's gonna get a lot of experience this year, as he should, because that's gonna take us to our next question. Because if he's not good, well, Mike Nixon, we might have our eyes on him if we're picking early enough.
Yeah, I was going to say, Mike, I think we kind of answered your question indirectly by saying we just want to see how Matt Peart performs first before we go out. Like, guys, it's 2 weeks. We're in week 3. I feel like everybody's thinking about the draft way too soon. I don't even
know why the hell we're talking about the draft right now. Like, listen, okay, now I'm awake. Now I'm awake. We are not going to talk about the draft, okay? We don't need this tanking Trevor Lawrence.
We
are getting ready to start week 3. Actually, we just start today. Today is week 3, okay? Because Tuesday is typically your first day. Monday is typically a day where you come in, you get some treatment, maybe talk to the coaches, and you dip. Tuesday is when the work starts. We are in week 3. We are not going to be talking about the draft, okay? We're not doing that. I don't give a shit who you are. We're not talking about the draft.
We're not there yet.
Shit about the draft right now.
We're not there yet. We got a while to go.
I'm awake.
We're 15 weeks away from the end of the season.
Now I'm awake.
We got a while to go.
Talking about the damn draft. I don't even know what players are good or not in college because they ain't even really playing like that. We talking about who cares about the draft? Let's focus on week 3. Let's focus on the 49ers because that's what the next obstacle is the San Francisco hurt than a mofo 49ers.
And here's what I'm going to say. Here's what I'm going to say about the draft. If you're thinking about the draft right now, there's no point in thinking about it because we've got to evaluate the young players we have on this team. And until such time we see how they play, we're not going to know what our needs are in the draft. We have so many young players. Like some people say, I think we need an edge rusher. Well, what if these guys what if Lorenzo Carter turns out to be a 13-sack guy?
I know you used it as an example, but on the defensive side, I don't know why we're even thinking about anybody because the defense is performing really well.
The defense
right now.
has played great.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's a finished product. It's far from it. But it is.
The defense is fine.
Definitely exceeded my expectations. The one major deficiency so far is the third down defense. That's horrible. We're 31st in the league.
We're bad on third down.
We're giving up a first down 55% of the time. That can't happen. But outside of that, when I looked at the numbers yesterday, I did a video on it. Last year we blitzed almost 30% of the time, and we were 22nd in the league in sacks. This year we're only blitzing 12% of the time, and we're 5th in the league in sacks. So we're sending less blitzes and still getting more pressure on the quarterback.
You know why? It's because, like you said,
coverage.
Coverage, and also dudes are developing. Carter looks better. Carter is actually playing to his strengths. He actually learned how to get some power in there instead of relying on his raw talent and speed. Obviously, Williams is developing as well. And me and PTA were talking about this earlier. We're not sure exactly why we were only sending 3 against Chicago and exactly why we didn't use Williams the way we did in week 1, but they still got the job done. They got 4 sacks against Chicago.
A lot of those were coverage sacks, and that's what we knew going into the year. We knew that this team was trying to build, obviously we've had some unfortunate injuries or people getting arrested. But think about it: if we had our full roster right now, how much better this defense would probably look. If you had DeAndre Baker out there instead of Isaac Yiadom,
we would have had no cornerback
and McKinney. Right, and imagine if you had McKinney in there as well. The defense is leaps and bounds better than I thought it would be right now. Patrick Graham is making a name for himself so far 2 weeks into his career as the New York Giants defensive coordinator.
Exactly. And you know what? This is another good point because you talked about how bad we are. This is a good comment, and this is 100% facts. This comment is gold. And here's the reason we're bad on third down, but there's a reason why we're bad on third down. We're bad on third down because we're allowing offenses to get ahead of the chains. All right. We are bad on third down because we're not good on second down. All right. That's our biggest problem because a lot of the times these third down conversions that are being made against us are third and short. Okay.
Yeah.
They're third and short. We have to be better on second down.
I will say this: it's not as egregious as last year, where it seemed like we were going up 3rd and 15s, 3rd and 12s.
No,
that doesn't seem. That doesn't seem to be the same. Now I will say the 1st and 25 was ridiculous, where we gave up the 22-yard run. That can't happen.
Yes.
Exactly. Real quick, 2 comments by John's Opinion Sportster. He says Hernandez is looking more like he did in his 2nd season, but he's improved on stunts. I want to say the offensive line in general. There are 3 new stars. But I like the fact that we're not prone to stunts like we were last year. It seems like any time a defense ran stance on us, it was an automatic stunts on us. It was an automatic sack.
It was automatic. It's not so much this year. Listen, the offensive line looks pretty good in my opinion. Okay, they don't look great.
It got better. Week 2, it got better. Yeah,
they look better than they did last year.
Yeah.
That's for damn sure. They look way better. I only have small concerns. And look, I talked a little bit about Nick Gates earlier, but Nick Gates could grow into this position and be good. He could. We don't know that yet.
You got to give him a chance. Yeah.
We really don't. Cam Fleming, I'm out on Cam Fleming.
Because he's already at a point in his career where you know what he is.
Yeah, I'm out on Cam Fleming. That's why I want to see Parrott.
Yeah.
So I don't know if anybody's been keeping an eye on Becton, but this is the 2nd time Giants Opinion Sports has been saying that Mekhi Becton actually looks the best compared to like the rookie tackles, Andrew Thomas and whatnot. Has anybody been keeping an eye on them?
I haven't. I have some Jet fans in my Discord, and I've seen it on Twitter. People have said that Becton's look fantastic in terms of his PFF grade, and I think he's done a good job, and that's great. You know what? At the end of the day, that's great. I don't care. I care about Andrew Thomas. I'm confident in Andrew Thomas. I think he's going to be a great left tackle for us for years to come. And if the Jets got a great one, that's great also. But I love the job Andrew Thomas is doing. I think it's only going to get better.
Exactly. 2 comments here, which I did not consider. Sajid said Devontae Downs sucks. We need Mayo back. Keep in mind, Devontae Downs is technically like a 3rd string guy. But then this was the next one. Do you think missing David Mayo is more of a factor than we may have thought?
I mean, no, because to me, David Mayo is much like Martinez. He's not a guy that's known for being good in coverage. He's a run stuffer, and I think Martinez has done a great job in that aspect. Martinez, to me, has been one of the brightest spots of this team in terms of shutting people up. You know, when we signed him, everybody was bitching and moaning. Martinez has stood out to me. He's been one of the 3 or 4 biggest standouts on the defense.
I'm comfortable with Martinez as our linebacker for the next 5 years.
I'm cool with Martinez too. He's made a couple of mistakes. He made one glaring mistake, in my opinion, in the game against the Bears, and that was it. Everything else, he's been fine. He's a sure tackler. He's fast to the ball. I love seeing the Giants attack the football on defense. It has been so long since I've seen someone like make a catch and there be 3 Giants there making a tackle. Like that's I'm enjoying the hell out of that. So like I honestly don't think this team is bad. I just don't think they're good yet.
I mean, but if we were being reasonable going into the year, and I agree with that, AJ Marshall, by the way. I read your comment. The Giants' run defense needs to get better. But that to me goes
like that last that fourth quarter drive.
But that to me goes back to the fact that we're getting killed in the time of possession because we're not getting off the field on defense. We're not converting third downs. Our third down offense has been horrible. We were 3 for 13 last week. So that to me, it goes back to the defense is wearing down, and that's what's happened to us the last 5 years when we always lose the time of possession. So I don't care who the running back is. If you're running as many plays as the opposition is, eventually the defense is going to wear down. So to me, that goes back to us converting on third down on offense and getting off the field on third down on defense. That both sides need to be improved in that aspect.
Your shout out to Joseph Clark for the $5 super chat. He says, any chance Freeman is Saquon's backup next year? That depends on a lot of things, bro. First of all, that depends that Freeman performs good enough to be back. It depends on if Saquon is going to be healthy enough to be back next year. I'm not sure. That's a load, not necessarily a loaded question, but a complicated one.
Saquon will be healthy enough to play next year.
Yeah, I think he will too. I think he's going to work his butt off. He probably won't get a full workload right away. I think they'll ease him into it. But yes, I agree. He'll be back. He'll be back. I agree with that. In terms of Freeman, listen, I think there's a 1-year deal. And if it turns into something more, great. But if Freeman plays well with the Giants, he's probably going to look for a more expanded role. If he stays with the Giants and Barkley's back, you're getting 3-4 carries. If he's got an opportunity to go out there, get a $3-4 million contract, get 10-12 carries a game, he's probably going to take that route. So I doubt it. I don't think he's the type of back that's going to want to stick around to take 3 or 4 carries a game.
And to add to that, Devontae Freeman has already came out and said that he got offered some good deals, but he came to the Giants because he liked the opportunity that the Giants were.
He was going to get more snaps here compared to anywhere else.
More carries. He's going to get more look. He's going to get more time on the field, which means that if he comes out here and he balls out for a year, he can go out there and demand some decent money from another team. He is only here to revitalize his career. It ain't got nothing to do with the Giants. It's got everything to do with the fact that he comes here and he instantly becomes a starter.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a hired gun. And he's not going to be here for more than a year if he plays well.
He's a prize fighter. He's here for next year. He's here to make more money next year.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, a lot of people been commenting this. I think we all might have the same feelings. I never thought I would say it, but I'm more worried about the offense than the defense. How do you guys feel? Real quickly on me, I feel I'm worried, but it's not like I'm overly concerned. I brought it up with PCA earlier. I don't like the play calling so far. I think it was one of my subs brought it up in the chat. They were like, it's not necessarily the play calling that failed us against the Bears. Wide receivers just weren't getting open. But I am worried about the offense. I'm not like overly concerned about it though.
Yeah, here's what I'll say about the offense. One, it's only 2 weeks in, and they're learning the new scheme. 2, you went up against 2 of the best defenses the league has to offer, and they don't have great offenses. So that might be why the defense looks that much more advanced than the offense. I think that has something to do with it. The Steelers are ridiculous. No offense is going to look great against them this year. So I think that has something to do with it. I do think the offense is going to get better as the year goes along, but I think it'll take a month. I think it'll take 4 or 5 games for the offensive line to really hit its peak. And I do think by the second half of the year, like I've said all along, I think we're going to have at least a close to an average offensive line where we'll be able to sustain drives, pick up third downs, establish a ground game, and it's going to make Daniel Jones' life that much easier. But I think it's going to take probably to week 6, week 7 till we really hit that groove. And that's what this year's about for me, hitting that groove and sustaining it. Getting to week 6, week 7, and giving me 8, 9 games of sustainability and saying to myself at the end of the year, okay, I believe in this offense. I think we're going to get that much better next year. This offensive line looks legit. Maybe we need one more piece, but they're really starting to take shape. But I think probably around the 7th or 8th game, you'll start to see that start and hopefully maintain.
I mean, I came into this saying that the defense was better than the offense. So that was that was always my mindset was, man, what's this offense going to be able to do? Like, I've always been concerned about the offense. And not because I don't believe in the talent that we have, but because offense is difficult to get right, man. Like, offense is so difficult to get right at any level, okay? At any level. Defense, honestly, is real simple, okay? In the NFL, it's more difficult because there's more terminology. There needs to be more checks. There's a lot more film study. But, like, at the end of the day, defense is don't let them get the ball. Defense is easy, okay? It really is. I knew offense was going to be difficult, especially a new offense. So, like,
yeah, I mean, I said in my video today, look at Aaron Rodgers. Look at the difference he's having year 1 to year 2 in that new system with LaFleur.
Yeah.
You're
like
talking
everybody thought last year he was washed up and that the offense didn't suit him.
Yeah, and it takes – I don't care how good the quarterback is. Aaron Rodgers, to me, is the most talented quarterback I've ever seen in terms of pure physical ability. He was a game manager last year. This year he's coming out looking like the MVP. It takes time for quarterbacks to learn a scheme. And people need to realize that. I mean, it's going to take at least 6 games for Daniel Jones to really feel completely comfortable with no offseason in this scheme. And it's not just Jones. It's the offensive line. It's the wide receivers. It's the whole offense. They have to learn the scheme. They have to get familiar with it. They have to get comfortable with one another. So I completely agree. I think it's a harder transition for the offense. Not to mention we're going up against some of the best defenses the league has to offer the first 6 weeks.
Exactly. Real quick, I mean, this is basically what Chris was saying earlier. Imagine if we had Bradbury. Cockrell, I don't know. Maybe we would go out and sign Ross Cockrell again. Who knows? Ballantyne, Holmes, McKinney, Love, and Peppers, and a DeAndre Baker that locks up instead of being locked up. That joke never gets old.
Yo, I mean, we had potential to have such a good secondary if we had DeAndre Baker here, because I believed in DeAndre Baker's ability. I
thought he was going to break out this year,
but like, it sucks so much, and in hindsight, it told us everything that we needed to know about this damn season. It told us everything we needed to know was that it's going to be a rough go. But yeah, that tandem of defensive backs would have been nuts.
Yeah, Baker to me was the X factor this year going in. Whoever takes the spot now, that second cornerback. I knew Bradbury was going to do the job. I didn't know he was going to be that good. Last week he was the best corner in football.
He was the best defensive player in football, actually, rated by PFF.
Yeah,
he was rated their best defensive player of the week.
Yeah, he was insane. So, but to me, it was always that second cornerback spot, whether it was Baker or now whether it's Ballantyne or Yadam, and it's a major question mark. Which is why I think we're going to need to draft another corner next year.
I'm so like, listen, man, I don't want to draft the corner in the first round anymore. Call me superstitious, but they never work out.
Not in the first, because I personally think that we either need to be focused on another offensive lineman, or we need to be focused on another linebacker. Like the
linebacker.
Those are my priorities. Half talking about those are the priorities. Is either another offensive lineman or a linebacker. Okay. And then grabbing some good value later on, but that needs to be our priority first round. Not talking about players, not even talking about where we're picking at. That just needs to be the priority.
You're not going to see me upset if we take another lineman. We have so many needs though. Linebacker, edge, a center, potentially a tackle depending on how Parrott plays. Wide receivers definitely a need. So we've got a lot of needs, and hopefully we fill some of them in free agency, and then we fill the rest in the draft.
And of course, this one here pulled up for Tana. He says, John Spinning Sports, I don't think I ever asked you, Tana, what do you think of Love in the slot and Holmes on the outside when McKinney comes back?
It's a good question. It's possible. They did play Holmes on the outside a bit in some of those scrimmages. You saw him lining up on the outside. He played it in college, but that's not what we drafted him for. We drafted him thinking he was going to be the slot. So maybe they try it out. I think the Giants are just like Judge has talked about all along, like Graham has talked about all along. I think they're going to mix and match. I think they're going to put guys in. They want versatility on both sides of the football. So yeah, when they have a full roster, I think you'll see him move all those players all around, all over the football field. But I personally think Love is probably not Love rather. Holmes is probably best suited in the slot.
Yeah, I think I know he's not necessarily struggled, but he hasn't looked the best. But give him time. Week 2, 4th round pick, rookie. He's gonna develop.
Yeah.
That's cap.
This has to be cap. I just saw this has to be cap.
Straight up cap.
Yeah, that can't be real. He got $3 million last year.
That is cap. There is no way.
Well, he did say he wanted more than he wanted last year, but that has to be cap.
That is all cap. There's no way. If that might be the reason why.
Well, that's why he's unemployed.
Yeah.
It's got what's the name of that actor that was in Rush Hour? Chris Tucker.
Yeah.
Chris Tucker could never get a part because after Rush Hour, he always wanted $25 million for a role.
Yeah, he always thought he was the stuff, man.
Ross Cockrell's the Chris Tucker of the NFL.
Hell no, you ain't getting that. That's ridiculous.
So yeah, I saw Mike Nixon guarantee us a win against the 49ers. Noah here is asking, do we have a chance? Y'all think we're gonna win?
I'm not guaranteeing any games. I'm not guaranteeing any games. I'm not taking any team for granted. We're a young team. We're still developing. We could win. Niners have a lot of injuries. It's a game that I think it should definitely be competitive, and it's a game that I think we'll have an opportunity to win late in the game. Do I think we're going to blow them out? No. Garoppolo may still play from what I heard, but he probably won't. I think
he's day-to-day right now. He might still play Sunday.
He's got a high ankle sprain, though, right? It's a high ankle sprain?
It's a high ankle sprain, but injuries are different for everybody. Maybe it's not as as serious as say Saquon's was last year, because literally the day he got injured, Sunday, next day Monday, which was yesterday, I saw a tweet from was it Rappaport, I think, or it was either Rappaport or Schefter that said the 49ers say that Jimmy Garoppolo is already day-to-day. He might still play next week. So it was immediate that his injury is not as serious as everybody thought it was.
Yeah, I mean, ankle sprains are tricky because I've seen someone get an ankle sprain and they can't play for a couple of weeks. I've had a high ankle sprain in the game and was at practice 2 days later. So I don't know.
Yeah. What do you think of our chances against the 49ers? Or if there's any team, that's more banged up than the Eagles, it's probably the 49ers.
I mean, we got a chance. We got a good chance. I could see us. See, here's the thing also. Here's something that we have to factor in. The 49ers ain't been home since last week. They've been out on this side of the country this entire time. So they haven't even been able to get any real true rest and relaxation. So maybe that plays in our advantage too.
Yeah, I think it's a near coin flip game, to be honest with you, because of the fact that they're so banged up. If it was, if they were coming in, if there's no Garoppolo, it's definitely a coin flip game. But if they were coming in full health, there's no way I'm picking the Giants to win the game.
If it's a fully healthy 49ers team, we getting molly whopped.
We're getting blown out 60-10, bro.
Yeah, but with they're missing Bosa. He's out for the year now, and I think
Solomon Thomas is out for the year.
And D Ford is hurt for the game, right?
D Ford is hurt.
And the corner Sherman is out.
Yep,
yeah.
Sherman's out. Yeah, so they're missing a lot of pieces.
So you know what? Listen, I expect our offense not necessarily to get rolling, but they should be able to move, man.
There's no excuses in this game for if the offense. I've tried to be fair with Daniel Jones, and I'm going to continue to be because it's still only his third week, but I need to see more from Jones this week than last week. The first week I was impressed. This past week, the second half he played well, but I need a game from him. I need a game from him against this team where he doesn't – no stupid fumbles. I need you to make plays. I need you to be consistent.
No stupid interceptions, because that interception, he threw it into double coverage, and I was like, anybody could see that was going to be an interception. Earlier in the game, actually, 2 plays earlier, he threw a pass to Shepard that was very similar, that was nearly picked off, and he was lucky that the cornerback dropped it.
Yeah, I need to see him – be smart with the football this week. And I think they're going to be able to move the ball against this 49ers defense. They're missing half their defense. So I think we're going to be able to move the ball against this team. I do.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I need to see DJ have a solid game. The interception I have put on him because he stared Evan Ingram down, man. And he had Sterling Shepard open on the left side of the field, but he's so busy staring at Evan Ingram for this timing route. Evan Ingram falls and he throws it, interception. I mean, I gotta see a solid game out of DJ, especially in a situation that's real advantageous for him to ball out. It really is.
Mm-hmm. I just want to say real quick, Mike Nixon's going to be out. Thank you for tuning in, Mike. He says, I'm going to sleep. I'm sorry I made you heated PTA for talking about the draft. And Tana, I'll see you later, you wacky Looney Tune.
All right, Mike, man. Have a good
All
one,
right,
man.
Mike. Take care, brother.
And Sajid is also gone. Have a good one, Sajid. He was in here since the beginning. And shout out to Marjorie Simmons in the chat as well. So Edward Chan says, this was something I was going to bring up. Why was there so many talks about the turf at MetLife from the 49ers? Even before they finished their game, they were talking about this Sunday. I don't know why all of a sudden Kyle Shanahan's is concerned with the MetLife turf.
I mean, obviously, I'm assuming it's because he got like 9 guys on his team got hurt.
No, but the article actually came out before the 49ers played their game on Sunday, the first one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I
don't know what's wrong with the turf. I mean, it's new. It's brand-ass new.
Yeah, it's new. It looks nice.
It looks really nice. That's brand spanking new turf. Barely been played on. I don't know what the issue is.
Exactly.
I think it was just a freak thing.
By the way, PTA, your favorite dude is in here, the original BBS.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing about the he's not the original BBS. He's the pretend BBS. Here's the thing. Because I said this to him in a comment that I'm glad that he changed his profile pic, but it still sucks. He's been talking about how I look like Matt Parrott. No one's reacted to it. He didn't even get a lull. People just kept it moving. Just kind of the way I keep it moving whenever I see you. So next comment.
Next comment. Bears were sitting their corners down on short routes, and Garrett kept calling short stuff. We should have took a few shots. I had a problem with offensive play calling, like I said. I mean, I'm not no expert. I'm not no coach that's getting paid millions of dollars, so I could be wrong.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there could be several factors to that. It could be that they're coming out with not the full extension of the playbook because they're still getting acclimated to the scheme, or it could be that they don't feel confident enough that the Giants can hold blocks long enough for them to take shots down the field. So, like I said, and it's why I'm not going to be overly critical of, here and there I'm going to nitpick, but I'm not going to be overly critical of the offensive play calling until such time that I feel like they've had enough time to really get acclimated and be able to be used to the system. And I think at full capacity, which I think will be near the second half of the year.
Exactly. Now this is a comment right here because PTA told me earlier we wrote somebody, Ryan Lewis from the practice squad. Not sure if you have more information on that position he plays or anything like that. But Sedan Smith saying we have other players on the practice squad that should be looked at because we're looking for another wide receiver right now with Shepard out.
Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't brought anybody in. I actually like Ratley. When we brought him in, when I looked into him, seems like a guy with upside. He hasn't gotten to play that much. CJ Board's actually played pretty well.
I like what CJ Board showed last game.
Yeah, he's played pretty well. I'd like to see Ratley get an opportunity though, because I think it's kind of what we need. I think we need a burner on the outside opposite Slayton that could hopefully open up the middle of the field for somebody like Ingram. So I'd like to see Ratley get more opportunities. But yeah, I'm completely for bringing in another wide receiver as well. I mean, we're really thin at that position right now.
Okay, so it was Logan Ryan. He's a defensive back. That was who they signed. And then I'm right now I'm looking at the practice.
You mean Ryan Lewis?
Yeah, Ryan Lewis we brought in. I think he's got familiarity with Graham.
I'm sorry, Ryan Lewis. I keep saying Logan Ryan.
He played
Ryan
with
Lewis.
Graham, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken.
Ryan Lewis.
Was he the one we got from Miami earlier in the year?
I think. Let me look that up. I'm pretty sure. Let me look that up.
I think so. But looking at the practice squad, okay, let's start with these wide receivers because that's something that we know we need. So we got Derek Dillon. He's on the practice squad. Johnny Holton, Austin Mack, and Benjamin Victor. Now,
by the way, he did play 8 games for Miami last year. So that's
okay.
that. He's got familiarity with Graham.
So Benjamin Victor is an interesting one, super tall. But I don't know. I was never like super duper crazy about Benjamin Victor. Derek Dillon is an interesting one that we can bring up from the practice squad.
He's another dude that's just all speed.
Yeah, he's super fast. He can take the top off. That's an interesting one. Austin Mack, I guess. I
Austin
mean,
Mack is just like the premier route runner out of that bunch.
yeah, he's a good route runner. He's decently sized at 6'2". So like, I mean, we've got a couple of options that we can bring off of the practice squad in terms of wide receiver, running back. We're not even talking about that. I mean, like Rod Smith is there.
Wait, I didn't even know Rod Smith was on our practice squad.
Yeah.
Rod Smith is on our practice squad. He's there. We could elevate him and bring him in. If they're not filling Wayne Gallman, which I'm never filling Wayne Gallman. It's just what it is. I'm never filling him. So I mean, like, but when I look at the practice squad, there's no one here that I'm like, oh my God, why is he even still sitting on the practice squad? Like, I don't know. I don't know.
So
There's some names here, I guess.
what do you think will be better? Do we go out and do we re-sign a Corey Coleman, or do we elevate somebody from the practice squad?
I think they'd probably elevate somebody from the practice squad because they had the opportunity to keep Coleman on the practice squad. They didn't do it. So, yeah, I think they'd bring up a guy like Benjamin Victor.
I was going to say it's either going to be Derek Dillon or Benjamin Victor, even though, again, and maybe it's because I just didn't pay attention to him enough, but who the hell is Benjamin Victor in my world? Like,
none of those guys are.
Bro. None of them really have anything that I'm looking at, which is why I would prefer to go out and sign Coleman or anybody else. Really, you know what? Since I'm saying it, let me go to Walter Football. Free agent wide receivers right now. Who is even out there?
There's got to be somebody we could take a look at, but I'm actually surprised the Giants haven't brought somebody in after Shepard went down. Because there's got to be somebody out there.
And Jesus Christ, does this only like prove our point that we were saying earlier? Made no sense rolling in with just 5 wide receivers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely no sense. And then rolling in last week with 2 running backs.
That I don't get at all. That I don't understand that at all, because if a guy goes down, you've only got 1 running back for the rest of the game. That I didn't understand.
Which is exactly what happened. Like, was there even a reason? Did they even say what happened to Wayne Gallman?
I don't. Yeah, I think he was a healthy scratch.
Sure what does that even mean?
From what I heard, I think they were looking to get extra guys for the defense. That's why, because I guess they wanted to have all these different sub packages. But yeah, it wasn't. I never agree with going in with only 2 running backs.
No, not at all.
In terms of available wide receivers, I have the list pulled up here. Of course, Corey Coleman, Mohamed Sanu, who I don't want, but the reason I bring him up is because I've seen, Giants fans bring him up. David Moore, former Seahawk. Taylor Gabriel, Quincy Enunwa.
Taylor Gabriel is an interesting one. He was decent with the Falcons.
He was most recently with the Bears too, as well.
He was with the Bears too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he had an all right run with the Bears. There's Tavon Austin, former Cowboy, Demaryius Thomas, Jermaine Kearse, Russell Shepard, another former Giants. Like, there's nobody here that really jumps out to me, to be honest with you.
No.
I'm looking at it. So yeah, I don't know how
you got some serviceable guys on that list. You're not going to find
any serviceable guys.
Yeah, you're not going to find anybody that's going to come in and be your number 1 wide receiver at this point. But I wouldn't mind at all if they took a stab at one of those guys right now.
I just want to bring this up because that's Cap.
Oh no,
Cap.
Oh,
Cap.
no.
Cap. Of course, everybody was surprised when they cut Bachman, because I showed a comment before. They were saying, man, we could really use an Alex Bachman right now, a guy that had a great training camp, had a great summer. Another guy just like Corey Coleman who had great summers but was cut. Hey,
they cut him he was originally on the practice squad, and then I think they wanted to bring Dylan back after Dylan's wife gave birth or something like that, whatever it was, or maybe somebody was sick. I can't remember.
No, but it was his wife gave birth.
Yeah, and I think they cut Bachman to bring Dylan back on the practice squad.
Well,
I agree. Bachman played well from all accounts. I would have liked to see him stick around.
Exactly. I would definitely like to see him stick around, man. So Dollar Beer actually contributing here, PTA. He says, when do we get our first win?
How about this week?
I was going to say the closest I can see would be Sunday. I can see us maybe getting our first win Sunday. We got the Cowboys after that, right?
No, we got the Rams, then the Cowboys.
We got the Rams
and then the Cowboys. Okay. If we don't get our first win against the 49ers, then I think we can beat the Cowboys.
We could beat the football team week 6 also, Washington.
We could definitely beat the football team, but the Cowboys now. Explain to me how we beating them, because their offense is At least from this past week, is booming.
I don't believe in their defense.
So you believe in our offense to take advantage of their defense, because that's what needs to happen this week anyway. If you're telling me our offense can't take advantage of this 49ers banged up defense, I have a hard time believing that they take advantage of the Cowboys defense.
I mean, listen, I don't believe in the Atlanta Falcons, and they was mollywopping the Cowboys. I don't believe in the Falcons. I just don't. So listen, hot take. Okay, it's a crazy ass hot take from PTA. I don't know nothing, okay? but I think we could surprise the Cowboys. I do. I think we could.
I think it's possible. I mean, I think I give us a 50-50 chance this week, just like I gave us a 50-50 chance last week. Is that the home game? No, that's in Dallas.
That's in Dallas.
Dallas has fans. I know it's a little fans, but they got an advantage there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Real quick, what was your guys' favorite game from week 2? Because week 2, despite all the injuries, had a lot of good games.
The Seahawks-Patriots game was great.
Oh, my God, yes. That game was so good.
That game was great.
That game was so good.
I just want to say I love that game because my team was up against Entertainah's this week in fantasy. I was down 30 points, and because of that game, Russell Wilson and Chris Carson, I won by like 20 or 30.
I'm going to tell you right now, Russell Wilson.
MVP so far.
He's the best quarterback in the league. And what he does with that team, I was talking about in the last stream I was on, like, you look at, everybody says Mahomes is the most talented quarterback, and he probably win the MVP at the end of the year because he's probably going to put up ridiculous stats. But if you take Mahomes off the Chiefs and you put in a regular backup,
you put in Alex Smith, which was what it was before.
They're still winning 10 or 11 games with Andy Reid. You take Russell Wilson away from the Seahawks, they won 3 games.
And Chris, that's why I was saying that he should have won the MVP last year instead of Lamar. I'm not saying that Lamar wasn't deserving of it, but I certainly thought Russell Wilson was the MVP last year.
Yeah, because they probably still win 9 or 10 games without Lamar. Russell Wilson carries that. The Seahawks are not that good of a team.
They're not.
Russell Wilson just basically every Seahawks game is they just stick around, and once in a while they'll blow somebody out. They blew the Falcons out week 1, but usually they just stick around. They're down 3, they're up 3, they're down 3, and then he pulls it out at the end. And Russell Wilson he's on another level. He is so good. He's so good.
I don't know if I love DK Metcalf, man.
Oh, he's awesome.
Every time DK Metcalf is on the field, he lets everybody know that he should have been a first-round pick.
I love him so very much, and I've loved him for a long time. DK Metcalf is a monster, and he's a guy that we're going to be talking about for a long time.
You guys remember when DK Metcalf was mocked to the Giants at 6th overall?
Yeah, and then for some reason he fell off. Not that I ever thought we were taking him at 6, but I thought he'd be at least an early 2nd round pick at the latest.
He fell to what, like 60s or 70s or something like that?
Yeah, he was like an early 3rd.
We should have traded when we traded up. When we traded up to get Baker, we should have took Metcalf.
Hindsight 2020.
God, we should have took Metcalf.
Hindsight 2020, we should have.
That would have been, that would have been great. I mean, and then we wouldn't have to be even talking about DeAndre Baker going to jail. We'd have Metcalf. We'd have Metcalf on one side.
No, I was about to say if we have Metcalf, we don't have.
We don't draft Slayton, probably.
We don't draft Slayton.
We still get Slayton.
No, we don't. There's no way we're still drafting Slayton after you take Metcalf,
Listen,
bro.
I'm going to build a time machine. Okay, I'm going to go back. I'm going to tell Dave Gettleman. I'm going to bring news clippings and go. Listen. You need to get DK Metcalf
at 30, specifically at 30.
Get him at 30. Don't get DeAndre Baker. Don't even talk about him, okay? Because look at the headline: in jail. Still get Slayton though. Still get Slayton. Matter of fact, get Slayton the next round. Get him in round.
Because I was going to say if you take DK at 30, that moves up all the wide receivers in the draft. So Slayton's probably not in the 5th.
Get Slayton the next chance you get Slayton, and then get everybody else that you got.
That means no X-Men.
When they traded up on in 2019 to 30, I didn't think they were taking Baker. I thought they were trading up to take Cody Ford or the other tackle.
Yeah, I thought they were.
I
thought they were trading up to get Taylor, who's another person that slipped.
Yeah, I thought that's what I thought they were going to do.
I didn't even see that. I didn't even see the trade or the pick happen because I was so bummed out about us picking Daniel Jones that I didn't even watch the rest of the draft.
If I wasn't streaming it, I probably would have done the same thing.
The next day, I woke up and I looked and I said, "We traded into the first? What?
Because the Giants never trade into the first,
yeah,
too.
I was like,
Yeah.
what? We
Yeah.
traded to the first, and then I looked. I was like, DeAndre Baker. Hold on a second. I remember that name, and I looked, and I was like, oh, okay, that's a good pick.
It's funny because the one pick that most people liked from that draft was Baker.
Yes. No, I like Dexter Lawrence. I like the Dexter
I
Lawrence.
love Dexter Lawrence because I followed his career from Clemson. I
Yeah.
love that man.
Dexter Lawrence is insane. He is going to be so good. Like, I don't even think he's scratched the
Bro,
surface.
he's a Pro Bowler this year. I'm calling it.
Yo, Dexter Lawrence is a monster, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, you got rid of Snacks to draft Dexter Lawrence," and I'm like, Dexter Lawrence is better.
Dexter Lawrence can pass rush.
Yo,
Yeah.
he's better. He's way better than Snacks, and I love Snacks, but Dexter Lawrence is better. And I was saying that the entire time. I was actually just on the cusp of starting my channel, so like I couldn't come on here and go, "Yo, y'all don't know shit. Dexter Lawrence is the best thing that's gonna happen to us." But I love Dexter Lawrence.
I'm right there with you. I was,
I
yeah,
don't even watch college that much, but I knew who the hell Dexter Lawrence was. Like, I knew
exactly.
who that was.
I'm right there with you because I think I was like in the third month of my channel existing, so I couldn't do that either. But I was very confident in Lawrence because same thing, I knew who he was. But people forget this. Lawrence was another player that was mocked to the Giants at 6th overall before he started slipping as well. People forget that as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be honest. Draft night, I wanted Sweat. That's what
Montez Sweat.
That's
What do you think about Montez Sweat so far in his career?
He's pretty good.
Party time. Sweat, party time. I love that commercial. I love that commercial. That commercial is so good. I'm sorry.
I think Sweat's going to be really good, especially having the help with Chase Young on the other side. So, you know, I'm very happy with Dexter Lawrence. By no means am I set, but I think on draft night I wanted Sweat. I thought we needed that edge rusher, but I'm glad they took Lawrence.
Yeah, the edge rusher I wanted got taken right before us, and that was Brian Burns. And I admit I haven't kept track of Brian Burns, so I don't know how good he is right now. But that was the guy I wanted. He got taken literally the pick before us.
Everybody wanted him. He went to the Panthers, right?
Yeah.
I wanted Allen.
Yeah, you wanted that. I think everybody wanted Allen.
Yeah, I wanted Allen at 6. Brian Burns does not have a sack yet this year. He had a 7.5 sacks in his rookie year, though.
Oh, that's actually better than I expected.
I wanted Allen. I didn't want Daniel Jones.
I don't think you're the only person that wanted that, PTA. Your shout out to the sports influencer in the chat. He says my toot is cold. Your tooth?
Close your mouth.
Yeah.
Close your mouth.
Facts, bro.
It's getting cold out, man. We're officially in fall. It's getting cold out. Close your mouth.
Another game this week that was
have a mask on, so the air shouldn't even be hitting you in the mouth.
Yo, he's at his house, bro.
Oh, okay. You know what? I feel your pain. The Korean likes to have the house at like 70 degrees, or 6. Sometimes when we go to bed, she likes it at 68. So actually, she's gonna probably be going to bed here soon, and she's probably already turned the heat off. It's gonna be cold. It's gonna be cold in here. Yeah. She's a weirdo. She likes it cold.
Another game that was fun last night's Raiders Saints, man. When I tell you that was a great game.
Yes, I like that game. That was a good game, and that stadium looks amazing, yo.
Jesus Christ, I like the Raiders Stadium more than I do the Rams, and the Rams Stadium is just like an architectural, technological marvel. But the Raiders Stadium to me looks better, and the outside they literally have an entire wall on the outside that's just a gigantic screen.
Do you think they're gonna do the draft in the Raiders Stadium?
No, it was always.
It was going to be at the Bellagio.
Yeah,
it was going to be in front of the Bellagio at the fountain. But yeah,
but I will say one of the reasons the Raiders Stadium looks so good is because it was built in mind with the next Olympics that's going to be in the U.S.
That's why they got the torch.
That's why the torch is there. It was built in mind for the next Olympics.
I'll tell you what, man. I love how the Raiders played last night. And I haven't gotten a chance to watch the Raiders, but I watched the game last night because it was on prime time. They ran the hell out of the football. I love the way the Raiders were playing. Josh Jacobs was getting the rock. They were moving the football. And maybe it was just because it was the home opener. They were pumped. I don't know. But the way they looked against the New Orleans Saints, I don't know how you leave that game saying to yourself, maybe this team's got something. So they looked impressive last night. They looked really impressive last night.
I mean, to be fair, I think Drew Brees is washed. I think he's done. Because
and also, even if he wasn't, I think the Saints window closed last year when they really choked in the wild card game against the Vikings.
Yeah, I mean, I think this Saints team is on the down. We gonna see what.
I got the Packers right now. Seeing the way Aaron Rodgers is playing right now,
the Packers coming out of the NFC.
I got the Packers right now. Aaron Rodgers to me looks like Aaron Rodgers.
You think that the Packers can beat the Seahawks?
I do.
Yeah, that's exactly the team I was gonna bring up.
I do.
I mean, people thought that in 2014.
I'm looking at the Packers' schedule, and I don't know their schedule outside of the division. I think they're going to go 6-0 in the North. I think they're going to beat up on those teams, and only one team gets a bye. I think they could easily get the 1 seed. The Seahawks play in the West. They play tough competition. They're going to have to go to Lambeau Field if that happens. And I look at this Packers offense, man. They got a running attack. They've got a great offensive line, and Aaron Rodgers looks like Aaron Rodgers. And they've got a good pass rush. Now, the run defense, not so much, but I think the Packers look good right now.
Devontae Adams is hurt though.
He is. We'll see. Maybe I'll be wrong. I like the Packers so far.
Though the team I got right now is the Seahawks, and it's purely because I think Russell Wilson is going on an absolute rampage this year.
Oh, he looks great.
Yeah,
he looks great. How about Josh Allen, the quarterback?
Joe, I'm glad you brought that up because I completely forgot that the thumbnail. One of the questions I had was, "Is Josh Allen elite?" So give me your takes, bro.
First off, I'm going to give myself a pat on the back.
Cause Taylor's been on Josh Allen since day one.
If you go back and look at my video, maybe 2-3 months ago, I talked about the 5 quarterbacks most likely to break out this year. Josh Allen was number 1 for me. I think I had Daniel Jones 3, Murray 2,
and also I think you drafted Allen as your number 1 quarterback in fantasy.
Yeah, I was a big Allen fan coming into the year because I looked at the way he finished the season last year. Only threw 2 picks over his last 11 games. They improved the offensive line. The offensive line had another year to come together because last year was like a makeshift offensive line. They brought in accomplished players, but a lot of them were free agents. I figured another year together. Cody Ford, 2nd year in the league. They're going to be that much better. You bring in Stephon Diggs. I thought that Josh Allen was going to have a big jump this year. And granted, he's only played 2 games so far, but so far, he's got like a 70% completion percentage. He's got all the tools you need. It was just the accuracy is what the question was. But to me, he's like Cam Newton. I mean, the guy could run. He's big. He's got a cannon. And now that he's accurate.
What?
He's that type of quarterback. He's that type of quarterback.
PTA just woke up for the 2nd time.
Did you just compare Josh Allen to Cam Newton?
I'm not saying he's Newton. I'm not saying he's as good as Newton, but I think he's that type of quarterback. The guy is. You ever see this guy run? This guy could play. Josh Allen could play, man.
I don't buy it. I don't buy it at all. I don't buy it.
What's your take, Hope?
My take on Josh Allen is you're going to hate me for this. It's still too early because he's played the Dolphins and the Jets.
That's fair.
He's played the Dolphins and the Jets. I will say he looked amazing against them. He looked like an elite quarterback against them, but he played the Dolphins and the Jets. You know, I'm just going to say that.
Listen, he's never going to live down that playoff game for me. He's never going to live down that playoff
Well, if he does well in the playoffs this year, he'll live it down. You'll forget about it real quick.
I don't give a shit what he does right now.
Real quick, this is Cap. I just want to say this. This is Cap.
Whoa! Yo, it's time for me to go to bed. What? Bill's going to cheese.
I don't think that's I don't think that's that crazy.
You got the Ravens and
I didn't say I'm picking them.
Yeah.
I'm going to go. I'll be under the desk if anyone. I'll be under the desk.
I don't think that's that crazy.
Okay, the reason I'm saying it is crazy is because I think Ravens, Chiefs, and possibly the Patriots. Like people forget, the Patriots are legitimately going to challenge the Bills for the East.
Are we going to sit here and act
okay,
like
okay. I got the Chiefs. The Chiefs are the Chiefs are the best team in the AFC. I'm gonna tell you right now. I think the Steelers are going to compete with the Ravens in the North. I don't think that's a runaway. 100%. I don't think that's a runaway for the Ravens at all. I think the Steelers and the Ravens are neck and neck, and I do believe the Bills are legit. Their defense last year was the best defense in football. The offense looks improved. Allen looks improved. I don't care. Allen never had 2. I don't care who the opponents were. We never saw Josh Allen look like this. He plays those teams every year. He's never looked like this.
That is true.
And the offense is definitely improved with the addition of Stephon Diggs and Allen maturing in his 2nd year, in his 3rd year.
Stephon Diggs definitely makes that team better.
They added Mario Addison. That defense was already great as is. I think the Bills are the 3rd or 4th best team in the AFC. So with that defense, if they get in, I don't think it's crazy that they could do some damage. I'm not picking them, but I wouldn't be shocked if they at least make the AFC title game. I wouldn't be shocked at all.
I think they could. I think the Bills can win a playoff game. One. I think they can win a playoff game. I don't see them going to the championship because because you gotta deal with them Chiefs. You gotta deal with
I mean, you brought up all the teams that I think that
deal
can
with the
beat them,
Ravens.
Chris. I think you brought up the teams that they can't beat in Steelers, Ravens, Chiefs.
I
Those
think
are
they
teams-
could. I think they could beat the Steelers. They could beat the Steelers.
Are we still asleep on the Titans? Because the Titans look good.
I mean, the Titans barely beat the Jaguars.
I was about to say that, bro. Gardner Minshew almost beat the Titans, bro, and that's not a knock.
And then the Titans almost lose
because Gardner Minshew looks good.
Like he could be the truth,
didn't the Titans narrowly win week 1-2 to a team they should have killed?
I can't remember week 1 with.
I think they won by like 2 points in a game that I thought they would. Oh no, that was against Denver. It was in Denver.
Yeah. So real quick, actually, let's talk about Gardner Minshew because he does look like he's the truth right now.
He looks good. I mean, I don't believe in him, but he looks good.
You want to talk about a quarterback like Josh Allen looks good and whether or not he's the truth? What about Gardner Minshew? What he's doing with the trash Jaguars?
Minshew mania, man.
Is this cap?
I'm telling you right now.
Get Edward Chan's ass out of this. Get out of here, Edward. Go take it. You need to go.
I'm gonna tell you this right now about Minshew. I'm gonna tell you this about Minshew right now. I'm not gonna say who's better than who. It's way too early in both their careers. Jones got to do what Minshew's doing though. Minshew's trying to save his job. Jones got to do the same thing. Jones got to come out. He's got to play well. He's got to fight. Minshew's earning the right to say, "This is my job."
Legitimately willing this trash team to win, bro.
He's saying everybody's talking about Trevor Lawrence, Goldilocks. He's saying no. And Dan Jones got to fight. He's got to do the same thing Minshew's doing. So I'm going to give Minshew credit.
I'm a believer in Minshew because I wasn't a believer last year when it was like, he did it over like it was a rookie year type thing. I was like, it could be an aberration, but what he's doing these first 2 games, I'm a believer. And this was my hot take after seeing just week 1. And you guys could call cap on this. You could go crazy on this. I said he's better than Baker Mayfield. I said Gardner Minshew is better than Baker Mayfield, and he is what Baker Mayfield was supposed to be.
I don't think that's that crazy.
Okay.
To me, Baker Mayfield's not that good. I mean, Baker Mayfield. How could you ask for a better situation that Mayfield has, and he's still not killing it? I mean, you've got weapons all over the field. You've got a much improved offensive line. You've got a great running back, and he's still not killing it. He looked bad week 1, and this week he looked okay against the Bengals. So, I mean, I don't think that's that crazy.
What do you think about that? Do you think that's crazy? Is that I'm saying Minshew is better than Mayfield, PTA?
No, I don't, because I was never a fan of Baker Mayfield personally. It's for me. It's like right here for those two. Like sometimes Baker looks better, sometimes Gardner looks better. They're about on par, to be completely honest with you, which is sad because Baker Mayfield is #1 overall pick,
and Minshew was a 6th round pick.
6th round pick, and he's looking better than you right now. Like he is. And I mean, yeah, I know the Browns won, right? But they beat the Bengals. The Bengals ain't that good, all right?
The Bengals are not supposed to be good.
Yeah, the Bengals aren't that good. Let's not pretend
they won 2 games last year, and they're starting a rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
Like the Bengals, they should have beat the brakes off of Bengals. They beat
that was a close game.
They beat them, but it was like y'all should have, like, from start to finish, y'all should have beat the crap out of the Bengals.
Yet every time I turn on the TV, I say a Mayfield commercial.
Oh my God.
We need to start seeing more Minshew commercials.
Real quick before we get to that, shout out to Benjamin Wynn for the $5 super chat. Thank you, man. Of course, with the beautiful profile picture. He says, "What's going on, my guys? Sports Pervert 101 really getting me upset, saying Haskins is greater than DJ. I can't stand children sometimes." Well, sports expert hasn't been present here, and I'm glad he hasn't come in with that absolute blasphemy.
What's going on, Benjamin, man? Thanks for popping in. Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm going to be fair. I'm going to say the same thing I said with Minshew and Jones. I'm not going to assert either one over the other guy. They're both way too early. I know Giants fans want to say Jones is much better than Haskins, and Washington fans are going to say Haskins is better than Jones. I got to see them both progress. They're both in a very similar situation. They both have a bad offensive line. They're both in the second year in a brand new system. They both have to learn. I'd rather have Jones, and I'm not being biased when I say that. But, I mean, either one could be better than the other. I'm not going to be this guy that says, oh, Danny Dimes, he's the best ever. No, he's got to earn that. But he has at least earned my respect that I need to see him for a full season because I saw enough last year where I said I got to find out this year if he's a franchise quarterback. And I'm not going to jump the gun and say tank for Trevor after 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5. I got to see a full season for Jones. And it's the same thing for Haskins. I'd rather have Jones, but I think it's way too early to label one better than the other.
PTA?
I didn't like Haskins coming out of college. But I won't sit here and say that, one is better than the other either. Because I hated Daniel Jones coming out of college. I hated them both. I didn't want either one of them. I didn't want nothing to do with either one of them. Chris is spot on. Like, they're both in the same situation, and we're gonna see which one's better. And thankfully they're in the same division, so they get to play each other very often.
Yeah.
We'll see how long this thing lasts. We'll see how long it is.
Shout out to Ligma for the $2 super chat. He says PTA is high. Minshew is better than Daniel Winston. And Ligma has gone to calling Daniel Jones Daniel Winston the past couple of weeks.
I mean, first of all, you sitting here, right? You're being a knockoff Fisk Vegas with this Daniel Winston. Like, that sounds like something Fisk Vegas would have called
Dak
it.
Bortles.
Yeah, like you're being a knockoff, all right? How about some originality? And then like you got, I'm assuming that's flight in
that
your
is Flight Reacts, yeah.
I'm assuming that's flight in your thumbnail. So you pick the worst picture of Flight you absolutely can pick. I know that typically Flight's like, but like you could have picked a better picture for your thumbnail. And then your name is Ligma LOL. Now here's the thing. Ligma is hilarious, okay? Whenever I hear Ligma, I chuckle on the inside, because on the inside, I'm a 6-year-old. The problem is that you laughed at your own joke, which then immediately negates the joke from the very beginning. Like, when you make a joke and you have to laugh at it to get other people to laugh at it, the joke's not funny anymore. So I have helped you enrich your life today, all right? Thank you for the $2. I hope your $2 was worth it for me to enrich your life a little bit today. Change your name, change your profile pic. And
Ligma is a big Giant fan. I can't have you be calling him Daniel Winston. I can't have that.
Do better.
You gotta give this guy a year. If we move on, then you can call him Daniel Winston. Give the guy a year, and how crazy is this, guys? At the end of last year, Daniel Jones finished the year with 5 touchdowns against the Washington Redskins at the time. And everybody's like, oh, my God. Oh, he's going to be blah, blah. We're 2 weeks in, and he had no time to get used to this offense. And now I'm reading Daniel Winston. I'm reading tank for this. Tank. What the hell is going? We're 2 weeks into a new season in which we had no off season.
Curse. Chris the Entertainer is about to curse y'all.
I can't take the panic from Giants fans and the impatience. Like, we all came into this year as content creators spouting the same stuff. It's going to take some time, guys. It's going to take some time. And now I'm reading Daniel Winston.
It just seems like it fell on deaf ears.
I know. And we went up against the Steelers and the Bears, guys.
Because they don't listen. Because y'all don't listen. And here's the thing. Here is the thing, okay? And this is not me blowing smoke, all right? But right now, you got 3 of the prominent Giants YouTubers in one place. And all 3 of us have been saying the same damn things for months. Like, making up content because there was no content to make.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
We were making up content. We didn't have any. We all talked to each other. Hey, what you doing this week? I don't fucking know. Like, that was what was happening. But we've all been spouting the same things. Like, yo, this is not going to be the greatest season in the world. We have to grow. We have to learn. We have to mature. But y'all are flipping out. And I gave you guys a 1-day pass. When the Giants lose, I give y'all fans a 1-day pass to go on Twitter and go ham. And Chris and Kush can all attest to it because they always see me on Twitter. I give all of you a 1-day pass to spout all your nonsense. And then the next day I'm telling you to shut up, okay? Get it out of your system. Be angry, right? And then move on. It's going to be okay. But Daniel Jones is not a bust yet because we don't know.
Yet. Right? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
He could be a bust. And I'm going to say this on YouTube, and it will live here forever. When we drafted him, I said he was going to be a bust, okay? I made a bet with my wife that I absolutely regret. Because if Daniel Jones is not a bust and he wins a Super Bowl, my channel changes for a whole year. Okay.
To what? To what?
I can't say. My channel changes for a whole year. But that's how confident I was that Daniel Jones was going to be a bust. I hope I'm wrong, but we don't know because it's week 2. Well, it's week 3 officially of 2 years. This is
let me boil this down. These are the same fans who were rushing Eli Manning out. They were rushing Eli Manning out in Daniel Jones's rookie year. They said, "Get him out. We got to see Jones. I don't care if he's ready or not. We got to throw him out there week 3. I don't care." Mm-hmm. And you're the same fans that want to rush him out now. It makes no sense. It makes no sense to give this guy 14 starts in 2 different schemes and say, "Oh, that's it. I'm done with him. I'm done." It's the new generation. It's instant gratification. There are so many great quarterbacks that it took 2, 3 years. I said Josh Allen. Josh Allen so far with the Bills looks fantastic. Didn't look fantastic till this year. It's his 3rd year in the league. Dan Jones hasn't even played a season's worth of games.
This is going to be this Sunday. He's going to play his 16th game.
15th.
15th? Okay.
Yeah, he played 12 last year. Yeah, 15.
Yeah. He played 12 because he missed one. He missed one with an ankle.
Shout out to Benjamin Wynn for the $10 super chat. Thank you, Benjamin. He says, Giants fans, y'all need to give DJ more time to develop and improve. Thinking trying to tank and take Lawrence ain't going to help your team, especially with a bad offensive line. Daniel Jones is a franchise quarterback. Just wait.
Benjamin's the man, first off. And let me say something, Ben. And Benjamin should know better than anybody. He's a Rams fan. Everybody was writing off Jared Goff after his rookie year. They said he sucks. Jared Goff brought him to the Super Bowl 2 years later. So we've had the same problem here for 8 years. We've had the same problem on offense for 8 years. Eli Manning was arguably the top 3 quarterbacks the year we won the Super Bowl, and he just fell off a cliff. That doesn't just happen. We've had an atrocious offensive line. We haven't been able to establish a ground game. We haven't had a defense that's helped us in terms of field position, time of possession. We've had a bad team around the quarterback, and the quarterback has taken the full blame. And they're doing the same thing. The same people that said, we got to get a new quarterback. It's all Eli. You got what you wanted. And now that you got it,
that is
14 starts later, you want to get rid of him.
That is such a great point.
Is this just going to be a rotating cycle? Every year, new quarterback. I'm done with him. New quarterback. I'm done with him. New quarterback.
It's because we look around the league, right? And we see a Kyler Murray, and we see
I wouldn't even say Kyler Murray. I would say we see a Lamar and a Patrick.
We see a Lamar. We see a Patrick. No, Kyler Murray is special. Let's not pretend he's not.
He's great.
We see these, and we say to ourselves, we want one of those. But here's the problem. You never know when you're going to get one of those. Like, you don't. And truly, in order to get one of those, you got to be the worst team in the league. Like, you got to be piss poor terrible.
And even when you're the worst team in the league, I don't care what people are saying about this guy, Trevor Lawrence. There's no guarantees. There's been so many guys that people said, "Oh, can't miss. Comes in the league."
We were just talking about one. Baker, he's not sure yet. Johnny Manziel was can't miss. Dude's out of the league now. So many quarterbacks.
There's so many. I mean, we go down the list for days.
Calvin's here, and Calvin's a Cardinals fan, by the way. He says, Haskins and DJ, even Baker to an extent, all have potential. When does the narrative placing blame on 1 or 2 year QBs flip to lack of coaching or team synergy? Shaking my head.
Great point.
Listen, I've said this since I've been on YouTube. The quarterback position gets way too much credit, and it gets way too much blame. And people, it's a 53-man sport, and the quarterback position, more so than any other position in sports, relies on the other positions around him. Yep. Period. I mean, if you don't have receivers for him to throw to, if you don't have an offensive line and you don't have running backs, it's going to be tough for that quarterback to perform. I don't care how good he is. Tom Brady, when Tom Brady was at his best, Tom Brady could sit back there, he could read a book. I mean, it's just true the way that they were able to block for that guy. So you got to give this guy a fair opportunity. I talked about it with Eli Manning. Eli Manning for years, when he first came into the league, as much as I say he had no help when he first came in, the Giants helped him. And if it wasn't for us winning games in spite of Eli Manning, his first 2-3 years in the league, people would have done the same thing. We were winning games. Eli Manning sucked.
Eli Manning was so bad.
Eli Manning is Pest and Mine's favorite player of all time.
He was so bad.
2004, he sucked. 2005, he was okay. and they went 11-5 because they had the defense that they had, and they had an unbelievable offensive line. And Tiki Barber led the league in rushing. But Eli Manning was not better than Daniel Jones is now. Eli Manning just had a much better team around him, and they were winning games. So fans were like, okay, we can put up with it.
Yo, Eli Manning. Let me tell y'all.
Yo, the Manning brothers, bro, were just trashed their first 2 years.
That's where I was getting ready to go with this, because some of y'all may not be old enough to remember this, but Eli and his big brother both sucked for like 2.5 years.
Peyton Manning threw 27 picks in his first year.
Yo, they were bad. Like, they were super ass bad. All right, but they both are Hall of Fame quarterbacks. Now, I think Peyton is the better quarterback, right? Peyton is my guy. I love
Peyton Manning. To me, is the greatest quarterback who ever lived. I honestly believe that.
I love Peyton Manning. In fact, I love Peyton Manning so much that I actually follow the Colts to this day still because of Peyton Manning. All right. I was never a guy that had 2 teams or anything crazy like that. I've always been a Giants fan. I always focus on the Giants more than anything else. But I pay attention to the Colts because when Peyton Manning was on the Colts and he had like Marvin Harrison, right, and he had Dallas Clark, he
Reggie
had
Wayne
offensive line, Reggie Wayne. When that series of Colts teams, I loved watching them play, and I paid a hell of a lot of attention to them. I own a Peyton Manning Colts jersey, okay? I own several jerseys from different teams, right? Because of one reason or another. And I own that Colts jersey because of Peyton Manning. But he was terrible early in his career.
You know what, to me, makes Peyton Manning the greatest quarterback ever? Look what he did. First off, he didn't know he was the offensive coordinator. He was the head coach. He was the guy. He didn't have Bill Belichick.
He revolutionized the way
revolutionized the
thought.
sport. Yeah. He didn't have Josh McDaniels, and he did it with 2 different teams.
Yep.
The guy put up 2 of the top 5 or 4 statistical years in the history of football with 2 different teams.
2 different teams.
He did it with the Colts and the Broncos.
Took 4 different coaches to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
It's not like he was a scheme guy like the West Coast offense with Joe Montana, Tom Brady with the. This guy did it with 2 completely different teams.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible.
2 different coaches, 2 different schemes, 2 different everything.
Incredible. I think he's the greatest ever. And people point to the Super Bowls, and I get it. Tom Brady's the most accomplished. It depends how you evaluate the greatest quarterback ever. Tom Brady's got the most Super Bowls.
I always say he's the ring goat. Tom Brady's the
ring goat. But Tom Brady didn't have to beat Bill Belichick. Peyton Manning did.
Exactly. And I just want to say real quick, even to add on to that, if anybody's a stats guy, quarterbacks are just not catching up to the stats that Peyton had. And we're not talking quarterbacks that have been in the league the same amount of time, like Drew Brees and whatnot, are just now catching up. Tom Brady just last year are catching up to the stats that he put up in less time.
Yeah, right. Peyton Manning was ridiculous.
Peyton Manning is one of my he's on the Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks. For me, I can't necessarily say that he is my favorite, right? Because I loved John Elway when I was a kid. And I absolutely love Randall Cunningham as a kid. And so like John Elway and Randall Cunningham are at the tops for me because that was what introduced me to football, was watching them play and just being amazed with some of the things that they can do. But Peyton Manning is up there. He is very, very – and you know who else? Dan
Marino.
Well, I was going to say, you know who else who is a Hall of Fame quarterback with multiple championships but also sucked early in his career? Troy Aikman. He was terrible.
He's only had 1 20-touchdown season his whole career.
Yes, he was terrible early in his career. Now, granted, he was surrounded by a great offensive line and Emmitt Smith and Michael Irving and
Novacek, the tight end. He had Moose, the fullback. Alvin Harper.
Yes, that team was stacked. But he became really good. But he sucked early in his career. Because that's what quarterbacks tend to do. They suck early in their career. And the craziest thing is this. A lot of times you'll have a quarterback who comes into the league and he tears the league up and then he vanishes. Just like that.
Baker Mayfield?
Baker Mayfield. RG3.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, RG3 was to injuries. I'll say
Marcus Mariota.
Jameis Winston.
Derek Carr in 2016.
Yo, listen, there's a lot of quarterbacks who come in and they look amazing and then they vanish. And there's way more quarterbacks who come in who look like ass and they turn into being Hall of Famers. Listen, guys, I'm gonna have to hop out.
I'm actually gonna end the stream at 11, about 6 more minutes, because I've been going for a good 2.5 now. If you could just stay those final
2.5.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hop out now. I just got, I still got some real life stuff that I got to do before the night, and then I got to be up butt crack early in the morning. As I said when I first got here, I am burning the candle at both ends, but it's okay because that's how life works. I appreciate you guys for letting me come in and talk. Thank you to the chat for giving me a little bit of energy because I am a dead man walking right now. You guys don't even know. I am. Woo. It's over for me tonight. But thank you guys, man. I appreciate all y'all. I will be live tomorrow around 8:45, and maybe I'll have a guest. I don't know. We'll see. Y'all know me, man. I play this thing by ear. I'm a newbie, man. I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Guys, PTA's channel is in the description. If you are not already, go over there, subscribe to him, check it out, man.
Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good night. Take care.
Have a good night, buddy.
Good night, PTA. Benjamin Wynn, thank you again for the other $10 super chat. You say he's a Rams fan, Chris? Sounding a lot like a Giants fan here. He said, let's not get overboard, Chris. Peyton has a huge, thick forehead I can't stand. Let alone he got blown out at MetLife against the Seahawks and lost to Drew Brees. The GOAT is Eli, undefeated in the Super Bowls.
He loves Eli, man. And so do I. He is a Rams fan, though, but he does love Eli. And I can't say I love Eli. Eli's my favorite player ever. He's not the GOAT, but I love Eli.
How do you, as a Rams fan, Ben, come in contact with Eli and love this guy so much?
Eli's hard not to love. I mean, well, it depends. That's what made me love Eli so much more, and I think it's what's making me love Daniel Jones so much more. Is I saw all the hate that Eli Manning took that I thought was unwarranted, and I'm starting to get that same thing with Daniel Jones. I've said Saquon Barkley's my favorite player for a while. I'm starting to lean towards Daniel Jones because I think he's getting a ton of hate he doesn't deserve.
I think by the end of the season it's going to be Daniel Jones because Saquon's not going to be here.
I think
Daniel
Jones,
for the remaining of the season, I mean.
I want Daniel Jones to prove these people wrong so bad. So bad. You have no idea how much I'm rooting for him to prove these people wrong.
I think he is because I'm going to pull up a comment by Clocks, right? Clock says he's not mad at DJ for the wins and losses. He's just average at all. Nothing special about him. I disagree. I think DJ is a special quarterback. It's just that it's going to take some time to fully develop. I really do think he's one of those quarterbacks you could rely on, go into a game and be like, oh, it's fine. We got Daniel Jones. We'll be fine. Not now, but in the future. Because we've seen him do special things. We've already seen him do special things against the Bucks, last year. Of course, that's the game we always talk about, but also against the Lions. That was a game we end up losing, but he was doing special things.
I'll tell you what, man. I don't know if he is yet, if I'm being honest. I don't. But what I will say is I've seen it. I've seen that he has it in him. Like, all right, let's look at the narrative that everybody's painted as fans right now. That he's off to a bad start. If Daniel Jones scores a touchdown on that drive against the Steelers, which he was 4 yards away from doing it, okay? So if that ball's not batted and say he scores a touchdown on that drive, the whole narrative is this guy's our franchise quarterback because that was an impeccable drive, and we may win that game. We take a 17-16 lead, and I'm not saying he's there. He made a crucial mistake. It is what it is. But he was that close to having one of the greatest drives in New York Giants history. That's how good that drive was. When you factor in the defense you were going up against, you had no run game, and it was a first game in a new system where you had no time to prepare. I've seen it. I've seen the throws he made. He made a throw in that game to Darius Slayton where I said, no, there's not a lot of quarterbacks that can make that throw. When he was in his own end zone, back foot, he threw a laser into double coverage. He split the zone defense. He threw a number of throws off his back foot. He's got it in him. I'm not saying he's Brett Favre. I'm not saying he's Dan Marino. But he's got the ability, I think, to make big-time throws. And I think we got to let it play out. I'm not going to, maybe he'll never fix the turnover problem. We won't know until we give him an opportunity, though. That's what I'll say. I don't think he's destined to be a game manager or to be an average quarterback. I think he could be better than that.
And that was another question that came up earlier that, as we were moving and the chat was moving, I didn't get to bring up. Somebody was asking about what do you think about DJ and his fumbling problem? Is it fixed? Is it not? Is it too early to tell?
It's too early to tell. It's too early to tell. I mean, last week was bad. The first week against the Steelers, they didn't rule it a fumble. It was. I didn't put that on him because he literally dropped back. He had a second. and he went to pass, and Watt knocked the ball out. Like, any quarterback's fumbling there. This last week I put on him because he's in the pocket. He's protected for a good 3 or 4 seconds. He's scanning the field. He double pumps, and then he brings the ball down. He holds it like a loaf of bread along his hip. You can't do that. Like, you have to have a mental clock in your head. You got 4 seconds. You got to know, okay, the pressure's coming. This offensive line's not that good to begin with. They've already given me more than enough time. Nobody's open. I got to tuck that ball down.
No, I want to say to you, there was actually 2 people open on that play. Somebody posted a clip of an all 22 film. I think Shepard, and it might have been Ingram, or Shepard and Slayton were both open.
Yeah, whatever it was, then he should have thrown it. But regardless, if he didn't feel confident in throwing it, he's got to feel that. He's got to feel the pressure. He's got to know what's coming. He's got to have a mental clock in his head, and he's got to say, I got to tuck this ball in and take the sack. That was on him. So I don't know if it's going to improve. I don't know. But I'm going to give him the opportunity. I'm going to give him another 14 games to figure it out. And if he doesn't, well, then we'll have the discussion at the end of the year.
Exactly. Shout out to Nikki for tuning in, channel member. Thank you. She says, love you guys. Good night. And then proceeds to use all the channel member emojis. And it's actually 11. Exactly. So, I mean, that's the amount of time I got for tonight. I just really quickly want to read Ben's last comment because I did ask him. He says, it's easier to despise Peyton over Eli. Plus, I wish Eli's dad named him Elijah, not Elisha. Oh, it is Elisha. Okay, I always thought it was Elijah.
Yeah, it was yeah. It's Elisha. Yeah.
That's kind of weird, but it is what it is. Well, guys, I'm hitting the timeline I am here today. Thank you all for tuning in. Everybody in the chat, everybody for donating. Shout out to the Entertainah for pulling up. He had a busy night tonight. He was on do you say it Authentic?
Authentic, yeah. Authentic
in the Beard. He was on their podcast earlier, and somebody just asked, Chris, when are you next going live? I want to say it's tomorrow or Thursday.
I'm going on with Mike Too Nice tomorrow on his channel. I'm not sure if it's going to be live or if it's going to be edited. It's going to be midday. I think it's going to be 3 or 4 o'clock like last time. I don't know if I'm going to be live tomorrow. We'll see. If not, I'll probably be live the day after.
Thursday.
Yeah, I don't know Bad Dogs. Actually, the Lakers probably playing Thursday because they played tonight, right?
The Lakers played tonight, and somebody was saying they were getting blown out. Let's see what the score is.
So they're probably playing Thursday, which means the Giants show will probably be Friday. So maybe I'll go live, have a Q&A maybe I'll do it tomorrow. I'd probably do it tomorrow. I'll probably have a Giants Q&A tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And then I'll have after the Mike Too Nice thing if it's not live. And then Friday I'll be on with Bad Dogs. Saturday I'll be live the night before the game. And then Sunday the game will be on my channel.
Of course, always busy. And then in terms of me, I'll be on Kid Blue tomorrow, guys, for whatever. I think it's like episode 19 of the Young Guns podcast. Whatever it is, you got choices to make, great choices. Thank you, Chris, once again for coming on. And peace, guys.